Jeremy said, I voted for Obama in the 2020 election.
What?
That's what he's going to do.
Okay.
Can we make some Obama 20 t-shirts?
We're live.
Wouldn't that be great if he won? Because then there would be so many fucking gun sales.
Hello, YouTube. This is our unedited show. Anything goes. If you'd like to listen to the fully produced and edited version, please visit welikeshooting.com/show. And if you're watching live, you can either go to our backup YouTube channel, which is WLSlive.com, or you can just find us at welikeshooting.com/live. I am so sorry that we are late. Literally, Windows Update fucked us over again, but it's okay, guys. I was the hero. I figured it all out all by myself and fixed it.
And hero.
The problem is that Windows Update only affected you. None of us. Just you.
Yeah,
Well, you and me are on Macs.
yeah. You guys are
You're a hero to yourself. Is what
and
you
we're
are.
running fucking system with soundboards and USB interfaces and noise gates and video recorders and cameras and
which is already all set up. Which is all set up already.
Remember that one time when we tried to do the show without Sean? Remember how bad that was?
Yeah.
No,
Fuck
it was
you.
fine. It went fine.
Did it?
Yeah, I thought it was you. It really did. I thought it was one of our better shows.
Jeremy,
You didn't listen to it.
Remember that one show we did where Sean got so fucking drunk he couldn't run half that
Oh,
shit
wow.
anyway?
That was the show that Sean wasn't on.
Let's see, Aaron. You know what? I'm feeling saucy. You have the ad read.
Oh, you stole it from me.
Wait. Oh, wait. I mean, that was there from last week.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. I don't feel bad about it at all.
Bitch, I do what I want. Wait. Hold on. Let me make sure.
This, God damn it.
Someone just complained that it's not streaming.
You know how many times I had to read the word this? I'm so
It is
confused
streaming. Hey, Billy, shut up. Okay.
now.
Billy.
Damn. Sorry, Billy. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
This episode of the We Like Shooting Show is brought to you by Second Call Defense, Manticore Arms, the Sonoran Desert Institute, Facts and Firearms, the Patriot Patch Company, and Brownells.
I don't know, man. Do you want to do it again, or was it good enough?
I just like leaving you. All right, I'll do it again. Okay.
Editor, leave that one in there because it's worth it. We'll do the two of them. Thank you.
This episode of We Like Shooting is brought to you. God damn it. All right, let's try it one more time. This time I've got it for sure. I mean, I've only done this once.
Leave all these in there. It's worth it.
This episode of the We Like Shooting Show is brought to you by Second Call Defense, Manticore Arms, the Sonoran Desert Institute, Facts and Firearms, the Patriot Patch Company, and Brownells. Yes.
Welcome to the We Like Shooting Show, episode 313. Tonight we're going to talk about Sean's new AR pistol, Nosler Model 48 NCH, the Streamlight ProTac Rail XL, Yankovic Armament, and more. Our panel tonight is River's Edge Testicles, Jeremy Paz Derek. We have live from AOT's latest rally at Savage 1R. We got the Machine Gun Moses, the man of an hour, just not this hour, Nick Lynch. My name is Sean Heron, and I want to welcome you all to the show. Yeah. Whoa.
Come on, Shelly. Come on.
Yeah, I've been drinking whiskey the whole time that we were having technical issues, and holy shit! So now I'm good. Oh, okay, Billy, I take it back then. Don't shut up. He said he's sorry, guys.
Billy. It's okay.
Dude, that guy.
Billy.
We need to hire him as like our taskmaster because if we're late on the show, if we miss the show, like he fucking tears us up. He calls us part timers.
I mean,
Damn it. Do you know? No, we're
How
not.
long have you been
No.
working,
no.
Huh?
Yeah. What you doing, Billy?
Listen, Billy, I've been here slaving away all day. I got up once to make dinner and lunch and breakfast for the kids, and then I had to poop a couple times, and then I had to go to the store and drop some stuff off at the Salvation Army, and then I had to pick up gun up at the gun store, and then I worked on the show. So don't call me a part timer.
I was like, bitch, what'd you do today?
Yeah, we don't come to McDonald's and tell you how to heat up the apple pies. What?
Oh, damn. Wow.
Do they still have apple pies? At,
I don't know.
Dude, they totally fucking do.
Are they still as delicious as they used to be?
I love those things.
I could never eat one again after
Yes,
Sean
they are.
said that he fucked one in high school and got burns all over his dick.
Wait, who did that?
name too. His full name is
Oh,
that okay?
Editor, I'm sorry. Take that out. I just take up.
Wait, did you say Sean Heron?
No, not me. No. I would never fuck an apple pie. I've got your mom.
Oh, gross.
What's the fat content?
Yeah. The caloric intake is pretty amazing on both.
All right. Oh, God damn. All right, hold on. Keep it together while we do it now. Okay. Woo, okay.
Red.
I don't even know what we're talking about at this point, but I think it's Manticore Arms. I am actually getting ready to have a rifle painted, and I'm going to have it painted in God's Plaid, which is otherwise known as, Nick?
BDU.
Battle dress uniform?
Is it BDU?
No.
What?
What are you
Isn't
talking
it
about?
Woodland Multicam?
Woodland
Not
multicam?
woodland.
Woodland camo or
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look this up.
it's like ERDL or something like that.
It's the same camo as
Yellow.
BDUs, right?
Yeah, but
No,
it's not called,
Battle dress
BDUs
uniform
are
is your,
Or just
your
green.
cami.
yeah, it's
yeah.
called
No.
Woodland.
Fuck you, Aaron. You ever in the military?
Hey,
Well, I
were
wasn't in the
you?
military.
Yes.
Okay. Good. I'm glad we established that. I thought these were rhetorical questions.
No.
Of course I wasn't.
It's Woodland Camo.
What? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And
It's not BDU.
well, there's different camos on BDUs, isn't there?
Yes.
Depending on what
BDUs
era.
There is.
BDU is
Yes,
just
there
what
is.
some branches call their utilities.
Look at Jeremy getting all that.
Yeah, they're
Because none
battle
of
dress
us ever
uniform.
served.
Yeah.
We're over here fucking eating MREs and loving every second. All you guys ever do is complain about them.
All I'm saying is,
And what I love.
my buddy from Jeremy referred to
favorite
BDUs as the
Go ahead.
Woodland stuff.
Aaron, what were you going to say?
My favorite line in your upcoming MRE video was when you asked Nick if he served, and he's like, "Oh God, no." Yeah,
Food.
Into my mouth.
right. And even that's
Anyway,
yeah,
Manicore Arm.
exactly.
So I'm like, how did we even go down this rabbit hole? I don't even remember what we were talking about, but Manicore Arms. And that rifle actually has a 15-inch transformer rail, which is one of my favorite things ever. So go check out their transformer rails and more at manticorearms.com. Use coupon code WLS10 to save 10% all day, every day. We have a drinking game. All right, so anytime that I say interesting so penis, basically nice or dang, every time Aaron says bi-curious suggests that registration does not lead to confiscation or interrupt somebody. Every time Jeremy says kill yourself, call Savage Kami, or sniffle spits, or hate breathes into the mic, every time Nick says something insightful, says something no one laughs at, or talks about his butt issues, or every time that Savage mentions Reddit, mispronounces a sponsor, Washington, or a gun of the poors, we want you, responsibly, to take a drink. And, that the responsible part is what's up there. I went mini golfing last night, and we went and bought a bunch of shooters before we went mini golfing, and then I had to take an Uber home. So, really bad
Also,
idea.
And you didn't even call me?
It's not Woodland. It's God's Plaid.
That's what I said in the first damn place. I said God's Plaid, and Nick was like BDUs, and Aaron was like, I don't even know.
No, it's not. But it's not BDU.
So, Aaron, speaking of camouflage,
But it is BDU.
Speaking of camouflage, what's going on, buddy?
Tony
Tony
I got a new
Simon.
gun today.
Tony Simon watches this show, right?
You know what? I'm prepared for whatever comes.
Yeah,
I don't care anymore.
because you fucking cleared off the landing pad, if you know what I mean.
I did shave my back. I'm waiting for you, buddy.
That was actually one of the most awful things I've ever heard in my whole life. All right, so let's do something a little different. So we don't have a guest tonight. We have tons of guests coming up in the future, but we keep getting last minute cancellations, which kind of sucks. But hey, it's just the life of it. So a couple things I wanted to talk about were traveling with firearms and any crazy stories that we had, and basically how you actually travel with firearms. Because I do see this coming up quite often. People aren't 100% sure like how to do it, whatever. We've done it a lot, most of us. And I just kind of want to talk about A, any crazy stories that you have, and B, what the actual procedure and process is. And I guess maybe we'll start with what the actual procedure and process is. So who would like to take that?
I can go.
Okay.
So what you need to do is you go in and you check in, And if you're checking your bag with a firearm in there, it will be in its own case within your suitcase, and they will normally ask you to open up your suitcase so they can look at it. The people behind the counter, because they're professionals here, and see if your gun's loaded, or at least they'll put a tag in there to say, okay, now go over to the ATF agent's booth, and they'll go and look at the gun, and then they'll put another tag in there, and you get to keep a
Did you
tag and they'll
say
put a sticker on
ATF?
your suitcase that says there's a gun in here. I'm sorry.
TSA.
Whatever. TSA. Thank you. I did say ATF. Thank you, Jeremy. But not like I didn't say ATF. I said ATF. So thanks for correcting me on that. Anyhow, they'll inspect the firearm to make sure it's unloaded, that your ammo is boxed up correctly, there are no loaded magazines, and they'll put a sticker on your suitcase saying there's a gun in there, and then it usually pops out in general population so that everyone sees the sticker, and then you grab your suitcase before they do, and that's basically the process. Now, if you're getting a rifle, that goes into a whole. That you basically do exactly the same thing, except normally there's a back area where you're supposed to go and pick up your firearm. It doesn't come out in general population.
Yeah. So TSA has its standards, and then each airline.
You mean TSA?
Yes. TSA has its own standards,
Okay.
and then every airline has their little stupid things. But basically, yeah, you walk up, say, I need to declare a firearm. They will make you fill out an orange firearm tag that basically says it is unloaded. Inside, if you put it in your luggage, it needs to be a hard-sided case with, they say TSA locks, but I never do that. Just know that they'll cut them off if they get into it. You can have up to 11 pounds of ammunition, but it must be in the original factory packaging. You can't have any rounds in the magazine nor in the firearm. Generally, they'll have you open your suitcase, put the orange tag on top of the case, then close up the suitcase. One time, I've had them ask me to open it, and I was like, wait, you want me to open the gun case? And they're like, yeah, so we can see that it's unloaded. And I was like, you want me to pick up my gun in the airport? And they were like, no. And I was like, then how are you going to see that it's unloaded? And they were like, okay, just show it to us. So I opened the gun case. They looked at the gun, and they said, okay, looks cool. Put this orange tag on top of the gun. I said, you mean on top of the gun case? They said, no, on top of the gun. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I put it in there, closed it, and put my locks back on. If it's a rifle case or whatever, exact same procedure, except you will have to open that to put the orange tag inside of it. TSA says that they cannot open your case without you there. However, I will say that it has happened to me multiple times where they have opened my case without me there. One time they went so far as to cut my big ass padlocks off my case and then put them inside the case and just let it go on its merry way. Depending on what airport you're at, like Detroit, Aaron, Detroit is one of the fucking worst that I've ever had to do. So Detroit, you go up to the ticket counter and then they send it off to TSA and you cannot go with them. And then you have to wait around for like anywhere between 10 and 30 minutes. And they will call you back over to the ticket counter if they need to open it up. Now in Detroit one time, the TSI came to me and said, we need your key. And I said, well, you can't open it up without me there. It's against the TSA laws or the TSA rules. And he said, no, we can, and we're going to, so you need to give us your key. And I was like, yeah, but you're not supposed to open it without me there. And he's like, well, we're going to. So I gave him the keys and he went away and came back and brought me my keys and I went on my merry way. One of the things that I want to talk to you guys about, like when shit like that happens, that's completely and absolutely egregious. Like, do you make a big deal, miss your flight, end up doing whatever? Or do you do what I did and just like be like, okay, here's the keys?
I would just toss them the keys, man. I don't want to miss a flight. That's just a pain in the ass. But in Detroit, for me, I've usually the gate agent will walk me over to TSA, and then TSA won't appear for another half hour because they're off doing some fuck all thing. And I don't even know, dude. They know you're there. Know. They call you there. The TSA agent doesn't stay at the TSA booth. I don't know what they're doing. They're having lunch or all playing tiddlywinks in the back. I don't know. Maybe they're stealing iPads and stuff from other bags. I don't know. But it's a pain in the ass that every time I've flown with the gun, I had to wait there at least a half hour for a TSA agent to show up. It makes me so freaking angry that I don't even fly with guns anymore out of Detroit. It's such a pain in the ass.
One time, the fuck is your problem?
You got it last time. I got it this time.
So one time in Detroit, they they took it to TSA, told me to wait 20 minutes. I waited 20 minutes and then went through security. It was a long ass security line, got to my gate, and then I hear my name over the intercom. Sean Heron, please return to the ticketing counter. So I had to go all the way back outside of security.
What?
And then TSA with that. Oh, this was the exact same time. And then that's when the TSA dude came up and was like, we need your keys. And I was like, what? I was like, I was already all the way back at the thing. It's been like an hour. And he's like, yeah, well, we need to open it up so we can swab it or whatever. Then finally came back, brought me my keys. I went through security again and literally walked directly onto my plane like seconds before they closed the door. So it sucks so bad in Detroit that I almost missed my flight. One time in Atlanta, the gate agent, the ticketing counter agent, had a really flamboyant attitude. And when I said I need to declare a firearm, he said, "Oh my goodness!" And
Hey,
pretty funny.
Remember, I don't remember what state we were in, but we were flying out, and they wouldn't let you through without taking your hat off.
That dumb bitch.
Remember that? She's like, "You got to take your hat off." You're like, "Here's my ID." She's like, "Take your hat off," and I'm like, "You're like,
what? Okay."
Yeah, I instantly whipped my hat off because I didn't want to deal with that shit. I'm like, "There, it's
Dude,
off."
I was just like, "What the fuck?" So
Was that going through security?
Yeah, just
Wow.
to get into, just wait, yeah, to
the
get
line
through.
going into security?
Right, when you hold your ticket
Yeah.
and they look at your ticket,
Yeah.
and you check it against your ID. Yes,
she was so
Yeah, she-
mean about it too.
she hated you.
I know. And she was like nice as fuck. I didn't even say anything. I literally walked up. She hated me because I was white. She was
Right, she was playing the race
no,
card.
she was also white.
She was. Yeah, I know. She was playing the race card
Hated
on
me.
you. Yeah,
Now Denver, when you
she AOC'd you.
Denver, when you fly out, you go to the ticketing counter. It's pretty much the same across all the different airlines that we fly, which are basically Spirit, Frontier, United, American, and Delta. And tell them I got a firearm. They do the thing, and then they walk you. Then a purser comes along, and the gate agent gives the purser. Is that the right word?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
transporter. I don't know. Gives the transporter.
No, it's a person.
And then you walk with the transport guy to TSA, and then you stand outside. The transport guy gives it to TSA in front of you. TSA, if they need to open it, will come over and grab your keys.
This sounds so dirty.
And then,
he's giving it to the TSA agent right in front of you.
and then
You have to stand there and watch.
they put it through the X-ray machine, and then if they need to, they'll come over and get your keys, and then they'll open it near you, but not directly in front of you. Swab it, whatever they need to do, and then they tell you, okay, you're good to go. They give it back to the transport dude, who then takes it to the baggage drop off. And once you're done at TSA, you can leave, but I always go with the travel guy to make sure that it gets put on the belt, on the belt that goes down into the bowels of the airport or whatever. I'm trying to think. Detroit's been my absolute worst experiences ever.
Well, I think
Jeremy,
I got somebody fired once from Detroit because they took my rifle, and there's supposed to be a special spot that you pick it up. And in Denver, so I'm flying to Denver. I have my rifle, and it's supposed to show up in the large. There's like a back area where you show your ID and you pick it up. And I'm like standing there waiting. It never shows up. And I'm like, where is it? And then I look behind me, and someone had stuck it on just a general belt. It was ridiculous.
that's actually another thing that I've experienced a lot. So some airports will just put your luggage with firearms, your gun cases, whatever, on the normal conveyor. Some airports will put it on the large baggage claim where you just walk up and grab it and walk away. Some airports take it to the actual baggage office for the airline, and you have to show them your ID, and then they match it to the tag on there, and then you can walk away. But the problem is it's never the same, no matter what. Like sometimes it'll be that way here, sometimes it won't be that way at all, and it drives me insane because I'm always like trying to figure out, okay, where's my gun going to come out? So whenever I go to baggage claim, I always try to locate the baggage office for the airline that I was on and the large baggage area so I can watch, because so many times they'll just go put it in front of the baggage office and literally nobody there. They're just all these gun cases basically sitting there out in the open. Anyone can just walk up and take them, and totally unsupervised.
I've only ever come through on the normal conveyor with all the other bags.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Traveling with guns is mostly just a pain in the ass, just because there's so many there's like different processes and procedures everywhere you are. But I think as long as you have a hard-sided case with 2 padlocks on it inside your luggage and 2 padlocks on it if it's an external case, no more than 11 pounds of ammunition in the original factory packaging, no ammunition in magazines, no ammunition in the gun, everything's locked up. Generally, you're not going to have too much of a problem. I also, I don't know if this is admitting to a crime or not. So when we were on the road trip, or what was it, the convoy across America with Brownells, clearly we were not going to drive across the entire United States with no firearm. So I had guns with me, and we took those guns into California, but I believe that was covered under the interstate travel laws because we were just passing through, right?
Okay, so what's the final destination, and you didn't stop anywhere, correct?
Oh no, we stopped at tons of places.
So
Yeah, so it's confusing because our ultimate destination was an airport.
my ultimate destination was the airport in California, in San Francisco, actually, SFO.
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't know. So,
Are you okay, Savage? You did something?
Well, you dodged a bullet, I think.
well, I don't know. Maybe. And this is all just this is speculation.
Speculation.
it's speculation. Had
Objection.
I done this with my ultimate goal being to fly out of the San Francisco airport, I forgot. I would have, had this been true, forgotten a gun case. And I would have had to be in San Francisco for 2 or 3 days trying to find a gun case, of which there is no gun stores in San Francisco. There's no gun stores around San Francisco. There is no Walmarts, Targets, or any other store that sells anything even remotely like a gun case in any of those places. And I looked a lot. So eventually at Walmart, I bought a toolbox, and I wrapped my gun in dirty socks and t-shirts and put it inside the toolbox and put padlocks on the outside of the toolbox, went to the San Francisco airport, got to TSA, or got to the ticketing agent, said I had to declare a firearm. And from that point on, I was like, and this is where I lose my freedom, because I was just nervous as fuck the whole time. But TSA actually came and got it, opened it in front of me, and he like started rifling through my dirty clothes inside the toolbox and was just like, what is this? I was like, oh, it's a gun case. And nothing happened, and I didn't get arrested or die or anything like that. So that was pretty good. But man, I was so fucking nervous flying out of San Francisco. I looked up all their laws, and I was pretty sure I knew them backwards and forwards, and that I was completely allowed to fly out with a firearm, and that they didn't check the roster or anything, because like the airport is like a sovereign space, or not sovereign, but just, you know, they're not going to check gun laws and mag capacity or anything like that. But yeah, I was nervous as shit. If this actually happened, I would have been.
Yeah.
Right.
There.
Now, I
Good
also
job.
drove back, and let's talk about driving for a minute, because this sucked. Actually, we drove to Michigan to buy my Jeep, and drove it back from Michigan to Colorado. The thing that sucked about this is that I had to go through states that had stupid gun laws. So I had to look up all the gun laws and figure out exactly what they were. I asked our Patreons, in addition to doing my own research, to make sure everything jived and make sure I was actually correct about it. So I was in Michigan. I was doing just fine because we have reciprocity and all that good stuff. And then right before I went into the Illinois state line, I basically got out, disassembled the firearm, put it in 2 separate locked cases, made sure that ammunition was in a separate locked case, or something equally ridiculous about that. And then drove through the entire state of Illinois. When I got outside of Illinois back into a reciprocity state, then I put my gun back together, loaded it up, put it either in my belt or glove box. I don't remember what I did. And, but yeah, that made me nervous. Now, traveling inside Colorado, I got pulled over for speeding in Denver. Now, Denver has really stupid laws, especially about, there's no open carry in Denver. They've got assault not my word, there's assault weapons rules that are equally ridiculous.
Yeah, so they don't like those guns that shoot the salt that flies.
Yeah, they hate them. Now, I've been pulled over for speeding in multiple other places in Colorado as well. And each time I said, yeah, I've got, because I had my gun in my glove box each time, because I was on road trips every time. So I would, before I would get my registration and insurance, I would be like, hey, there's a loaded holstered firearm in there. That's where everything else is. How would you like me to proceed? And they every single time would say, just don't point yours at me and I won't point it at you. So I assumed that in Denver, it would be that same type situation, except I was concealed carrying at that time in my belt. So the trooper pulls me over. He's such a cunt. He's such a jerk. And the whole time he's just being a jerk. Jeremy, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
I'm sorry. That was like an hour ago. I just saw it. And he acts like I am straight up a drug kingpin. It makes me and the person I was with get out of the car. He's yelling at us the whole time, hand on his gun, takes my gun out, disarms me, unloads my gun, making me nervous as fuck because he sucked at gun handling, and runs everything, ends up giving me a speeding ticket, gives me back my gun and my magazine, but he won't hand them to me. He puts them on the seat and tells me that we cannot get in the car until he drives away. So I have to go grab my gun, reload it, put it back in the holster, put it back in the belt. And then, he was just such a jerk. He acted like we were seriously Pablo Escobar and we had just been caught red-handed with 75,000 tons of cocaine.
Hey, SA, didn't he steal a bullet too?
Yeah. So
That's my Pablo Escobar, by the way.
yeah. So I had one in the pipe and he kept it. So I was like, bitch, you owe me like $1.50. But yeah, that guy was dead. Yeah. Who else has some crazy stories about traveling with guns?
No, because all the cops out here don't give a shit.
Yeah. Plus, you usually just do carry on, so you don't normally travel with guns, right?
If I drive, I do. If I fly, I don't usually. I mean, half time it's to a place I can't carry in, anyways.
Yeah, we end up going to a lot of
shot
places.
go, we can't. What the fuck am I? Like,
I mean, dude,
we're either in the sands or I'm fucking shit faced.
Well, dude, our Airbnbs, we need guns.
Some of them.
But I'm in charge of that now, so we'll be all right.
Yes,
You know what I'm gonna do?
I did get pulled over one time. I had a pickup that didn't have a functioning speedometer, and I had a couple of rifles in my passenger seat and a couple of handguns and like a pile of loaded magazines for both, or for all of them, and some ammo and stuff. And I'm cruising along, coming down this hill, and I pass a cop going the other direction, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm, speeding at this point. I just don't know how much. And it was a really narrow road, one lane going each direction, no shoulder or anything, deep ditches on either side, and the speed limit's like 60 miles an hour going through there. So I drove up to the top of the next hill where, I had good visibility, and I pulled off to the side of the road, and parked there and waited, because I figured I'll get off the road and make sure that this guy's not going to get rear-ended or whatever. Anyway, so I pull over up there, I sit, I wait, and after a little bit, the cop goes by, and he doesn't have lights on or anything, and he's not going like particularly fast, and I figured, oh, okay, well, I guess he's not after me, so I continue on my way. And about, 2 miles down the road, he comes screaming up behind me with his lights on, and he's, this is a side road that I've turned off on, and it was on the way to my parents' house, so he's just flying up behind me, and I pull over, and he gets out, and he comes up, and his very first question is, "Why did you try to hide from me?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, I saw you try to hide from me back there, pulling off on that side road." And I was like, I parked right at the intersection at the top of a hill where it was clear, where you were guaranteed to see me. I was like, "Did you see me?" And he was like, "Yeah, but I was already going by." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, you didn't have your lights on, so I didn't, I figured I was good." And he's like, "Well, I didn't turn my lights on because I was waiting to see if I needed to." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I was trying to be courteous." And then he looks over and sees all these guns in my passenger seat. And this is where you think that things are going to go really poorly, right? Because he's already angry that I tried to run from him in my beat up, rusted out 87 Nissan pickup. So he looks over, he sees all these guns. He's like, "So you going shooting?" And the smart ass in me starts to say, "I don't know. It depends on whether they have my money or not." And I make it to, "I don't know. I haven't decided yet," and catch myself. And he just kind of, okay, give me your license and registration. And that's what's awesome about Montana is this guy thought I was trying to run from him, and he didn't even care, like didn't even hassle me about all of the guns.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. Someone mentioned that the whole thing about duty to inform. What that basically means is, are you legally obligated by your state's laws, ordinances, or anything else to inform a police officer upon first contact if you have a firearm in the car? In Colorado, we have no duty to inform, meaning if we get pulled over and we have a gun in the car, we do not have to tell them unless they specifically ask us, and then we must inform them immediately of not just that we are carrying, but indeed where it is, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people say, well, I'm a good guy, so if I get pulled over and my state does not have duty to inform, I will just immediately hand them my concealed carry permit because, I want them to know that I'm a good guy. I think that's a terrible thing to do personally, and here's why. Because most time traffic infractions like Nick's speeding or my speeding or any of these other things, most often it's a financial arrangement, right? They are there to collect revenue for the locality because you broke their made up fucking laws that really caused nobody any harm, except for in some cases, clearly. So if I have no duty to inform in my state or another state, and I always make sure I know what that state's laws are when I'm in it, then I do not inform because, again, it's a financial transaction, and all I'm doing by informing them that I either have a gun or a concealed carry permit or anything else is adding complexity to it. Now, the reason that I informed when it was in my glove box is because that's where my insurance and registration were, and if I pop open that glove box and a gun pops down, then we're introducing a lot of complexity to a very, very minor financial transaction. So that, in that case, cool. But if they don't need to know I have a gun and I have no duty to inform, I'm not going to add that complexity because very often they'll call another cop car, they'll disarm you. And honestly, I don't want cops handling my gun. Like, I've seen a lot of them handling firearms and I don't feel safe with them doing that. So what do you guys think?
I agree. If I am not required to inform them and it's not like I have to go into my glove box and my gun's there or have to reach past my hip and my gun is there, then I don't tell them because, like you said, it just some people are put on edge by it, and there's no reason.
Ohio has a duty to inform, so if you're carrying, you have to. But the thing in Ohio is when they run your license plate, your CCW is actually tied to your license plate if the vehicle's registered to you. So as soon as they run your plate, they know that you have a CCW.
In Colorado, those databases are not connected, so they do not see that.
In Ohio, they are connected, and they do see that. So I always tell people, if you're not carrying, you don't have to say shit. But I always tell people to just say, "Hey, I have a CCW, but I don't have a firearm on me." Just so the cop's like, "Okay." Most of the time, they don't even say shit.
In Michigan,
like, yeah, okay.
In Michigan, we have a duty. I'm sorry. In Michigan, we have a duty to inform whether we are carrying or not. If we have a CCW, we have to say, you just hand them both things and your ID and your CCW, and you say, I either do have a firearm in the vehicle or I do not have a firearm in the vehicle.
Yeah. So, I mean, clearly know what your own local laws are. And again, if I don't have to, if not required by a law nor circumstance, then I don't do it. I just think it's a bad idea. And here in Colorado, the state trooper that I got pulled over by, he was a dickhead. I've talked about it on the show before. In fact, that was one of the best quotes I think we've ever had on the show. Do you guys remember what I said? I was like something about, man, I don't remember.
Of course, Sean would have the greatest quote.
Right? I was keeping
quotes.
an insurance card in my visor.
That's probably a good idea. I probably should.
I always, I don't know, cops out where I live don't give a shit. Plus, they all know who the hell I am. So
yeah,
they just kind of expect me to have a gun on me. I know one time I got pulled over on the way home from the gym and I did not have a gun on me or in the vehicle. And he pulled me over because my headlight was out. And I'm like, can I fix it real quick? And he goes, what? I'm like, can I fix my headlight real quick? I'm like, I didn't realize it went out again. He was like, oh, okay. So I just opened the door, popped the hood, jumped out, reached in, grabbed the wire harness, jiggled it around, headlight popped on. He's like, oh, I thought you were bullshitting me. I'm like, no, I got to replace that pigtail.
Yeah, nice. When cops pull Jeremy over, they don't ask him if he has a gun. They ask him which one.
Right.
How many?
They're like, you got that full auto AKM?
Who don't? You don't?
cool.
You didn't? You know it? Yeah, I don't know there.
All right.
All right.
I remember I had a couple of cops come into the range, and they were the guy was talking about his brand new duty rifle and how cool it was and all this fucking tactical shit on it. And I just looked at him. I was like, mine's cooler. He goes, no, man. He goes, you don't understand. Like, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, no, mine's cooler. And he's like, yeah, but I got, fucking sight, fucking forend, fucking whatever. I'm like, yeah, no, mine's cooler. And he was like, why is yours so cool? So I just walked over, grabbed it, and he's like, oh, man, that's pretty cool. It looks like an old M16. And I just walked out on the range and went, and he's like, okay, yours is cooler.
It is pretty cool. I won't disagree. Now let's talk about how do you understand what the laws are for the places that you're going. I use an app called CCW. It's available on Android and iPhone. And basically it shows me not only my permitted states, which I can put in manually, but then it'll show me all the states that have reciprocity with my permitted states. And if I click on a state, it'll show me what the gun laws are based on both my carry permit and just in general. So I know, where I can carry, whether there's duty to inform, restaurants with alcohol, all those laws and other stuff like that. Do you guys use any apps or anything? Or you just kind of say, fuck it?
I just yell Leroy Jenkins.
Right.
No, like Savage, I just look it up.
I just literally fuck it.
Literally have sex.
You know what? We should all get deputized, because if you're a deputy, you can technically carry in every single state.
Unless you go to New Jersey, then they still arrest you for it.
Yeah. You can get a LEOSA permit if you're former law enforcement, which basically allows you to do that in most places except for Hawaii and I guess New Jersey. I don't know.
I mean, federally speaking, they're supposed to allow you, but they are just cunt.
It's one of those things like,
New Jersey.
well, in places like Colorado where you can't have a loaded long gun in the car. Well, what if I have a loaded AR pistol? Sure, I'll win in court, but I'm going to have to go to court probably because the cop's not going to know the fucking difference. They'll just be like, oh, you have a loaded AR-15. Enjoy federal pound me in the ass prison.
I don't think I would enjoy that at all. Why would you offer that up as a
good at all?
Yeah, no, I hate.
Right, like enjoy? No,
I don't even like that cop. All right, anything else to add on traveling with firearms?
If you're flying with a firearm, they say you should arrive. First of all, they say you should arrive like 2 hours before your flight to get through security and all that bullshit. If you're flying with a firearm, add another 30 to 40 minutes.
Oh, go ahead.
I was done.
Oh, don't take it to Canada. It's not America. Yeah. It's a different fucking country. I literally had somebody ask me how to take their concealed carry to Canada. I'm like, that is not America Light. That is a different fucking country.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a terrible idea.
People look at Canada like it's the 51st state. Like,
it kind of is, though.
Nah, you know what the proper name for a Canada goose is, right?
Oh God, no.
I do.
What is it?
It's a socialist duck.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. I think that covers it, man. So here we go.
Now for our defensive gun use of the week, sponsored by Second Call Defense, offering you complete protection for armed self-defense.
Hey, Sean.
Yo, what's up?
You hear how many mass shootings have been stopped lately? Is that crazy?
There's been at least 3 people, I think, that were stopped, right?
Yeah. It's crazy, but
with no new laws passed, it's almost as if we don't need them.
Yeah.
Right. But if a mass shooting did happen and you were there and you took out the shooter, even though you saved a lot of people, I'm sure you'd have a need for second call defense.
Well, yeah, I mean, just because even if it's all cut and dry and everything goes perfectly well, I mean, we talked to MJ, who came on the show like 2 days after having to use a firearm for lethal self-defense, and he was confused and didn't know exactly what was going on and wasn't sure what he should or could, or he just didn't know the process, procedure, whatever. And second call defense helps with all that. Even if it's cut and dry, even if you did everything right, the cops are going to have questions. They're going to ask you questions. If you answer those incorrectly, a district attorney could decide to pursue charges. And second call defense covers all that. Make sure that you're good to go. Make sure that even if you lose criminally or civilly, they cover fees and awards. But they make sure that you don't. And if you have any questions about cases or anything else like that, Sean Maloney will talk to you. He'll tell you kind of what they've done. What he can do within attorney-client privilege, but they definitely work on this stuff all the time. That is their business. Sean Maloney is our good friend, and we trust him implicitly. So go check him out. WeLikeShooting.com/SCD.
This portion of We Like Shooting has been sponsored by Second Call Defense, the most comprehensive protection for armed self-defense in America. Visit WeLikeShooting.com/SCD to find out how to get your first month free.
So we're still giving out a free month, which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
First month's free, and we still giving out shirts too, or are we not doing that anymore?
Sure. Yeah.
Sign up for SED. Send us the proof of purchase, and we will send you a free We Like Shooting shirt.
Yep, just automate it at WeLikeShooting.com, and the system should auto-respond with the coupon code if you forward your welcome email from Second Call Defense. If it doesn't, hit us up, and we will get that out to you. We have a giveaway segment, WeLikeShooting.com/giveaways, where you can enter to win stuff from Ken Oz Tactical Group, Black Rhino Concealment, Stuck Knot Customs, Blue Alpha Gear. It's all available out there, and excuse me, again, that's WeLikeShooting.com/giveaway. Check out the Patriot Patch Company and their Cool Patch of the Month Club. Coupon code WLS saves you 10% off all day, every day.
Every day.
Oh.
Sorry.
America gets its news from one
What is happening? This is not the right audio. Who did this?
Are we supposed to go to
I got so confused. How about this? Now it's time for Gear Chat. It's where we talk about the stuff that we want, stuff that we have, and the stuff that we need. But first of all, let's talk about our good friends over at Faxon Firearms. Oh, man. They're doing so much cool stuff these days. I've got my AK barrel that I just had done. Nick's got this TIN coated, the gold bolt carrier group, and 14.5-inch pendant welded barrel. That's a flame-suited 223 Wildy chamber.
And
wild.
You already said carbon fiber handguard?
No, I didn't yet.
Because that's also beautiful.
Oh, God, dude, it is. And I've got one just like it. We're handguard twins.
Is that like Eskimo Brothers?
Yes. It's exactly like Eskimo Brothers.
When you guys are giving each other butterfly kisses?
No.
With your dicks?
We're thinking of Eskimo kisses.
That's worm wrestling.
Is that why you're always asking if I want to play night crawlers? No, Sean, I want to play night crawlers.
Okay, it's during the ad read. No, but seriously, so my AK, Nick's AR, carbon fiber handguard, they've got the FX19 pistols, the Patriot and the Hellfire. We've been shooting the shit out of those lately and just loving them, man. You know what? I think I'm going to start carrying one.
Yeah?
I think I should.
One of these?
No, the FX19s.
I mean, I guess you could do that.
I think I'm going to carry the Hellfire.
Yeah, carry the Gucci Glock. That's how you...
And another reason that I feel totally comfortable carrying that is because Second Call Defense will not only help me get it back from police if I ever have to use it for lethal self-defense, but they will also replace it if they cannot get it back from the police. So
with the same gun, that's their guarantee.
Yep. So why not? That's a good deal. But yeah, go check them out, FaxonFirearms.com. If you want barrels, accessories, handguards, anything like that, use coupon code WLS10. It gets you 10% off if you want to buy a gun like their FX 5500 or their FX 5509, I believe it is, which is their 9mm AR. You can use WLS gun, and that saves you money as well, a healthy amount. You know what? Fuck it. I'll start us off, and I want to talk about my new AR pistol.
Pistol.
Is it a pistol?
Behold all of its glory.
Ooh.
What kind of light is that?
Is this rifle length? Yes.
No.
It's carbine?
Yeah.
All right, I couldn't remember.
Rifle would be like out here.
Yeah, whatever. I can't remember what it
So
was.
stupid.
Yeah, okay.
Jeremy, jump all over him, Jeremy.
Okay, Cricket.
We just pointed
Why
at-
am I jumping all over him?
What's that?
Because what he
One and a
just
half,
said.
11.5.
Well,
I didn't hear what he said.
I thought it was a 17-inch barrel.
Mhm.
He asked if his pistol had a rifle length gas tube.
I couldn't remember how long the barrel was. Anyway, so this pistol is basically a sauce pack from Roscoe Manufacturing. That comes with the upper, the bolt carrier group, the handguard, which this is a 10-inch handguard on a 10.5-inch Roscoe Pure Blood barrel. It is a Roscoe gas block, a Roscoe gas tube, and that makes up one of their sauce packs for their uppers. So 10.5-inch barrel, dude, it's pretty sick. Now, I also threw a Bowers.
Does it need like penicillin?
No,
Does it need
No.
some medicine? You said it was sick. I was kind of concerned. Is it like a flu-like symptoms?
no.
I mean, it is getting to be the season.
I meant like it's the balls.
Oh, well, shit. Why didn't you just say that? dude?
Your balls or like Nick's?
What's the difference?
Like mine,
Savage?
high and
And who's docking with who?
Okay.
Wow,
That's gross,
Savage.
Why'd you have to make it all weird,
Much
man?
time up there.
This is twice you've commented on people's penises, Savage. Just because your head looks like one doesn't mean we should talk about it. I want to hear about
Pretty
Sean's
good,
gun.
or-
I want to hear about Sean's gun. His awesome
Do
gun.
you?
I do. I'm waiting. Tell me.
All right. So this has a Bowers Group insert on it, which basically I can direct thread either their Ames flash hider brake, which is what this cool little compensator brake is. Fuck off, Aaron.
I didn't do it. That was sick. Fucking sitting right next to you, dude. Sitting right next to you. You accused me like fucking 17 states away of yawning.
That's amazing.
I can't hear anything with the headphones on. I just thought it was your ass.
No,
right.
I'm genuinely interested in your pistol.
If Aaron made yawning sounds, I would be worried.
Just let me know when I can go on.
Oh, you can go on whenever you want. We're all here to hear about this pistol. I want to hear about it, man. Stop fucking stopping. Start going.
All right. So it's got that Roscoe sauce pack. It's got the 10.5-inch barrel with the carbine length gas. Fuck off. Then I've got the Bowers Group 1/28 insert, and this has that Ames flash hider brake, and this is the 9mm one, I believe, because basically whatever will fit through the hole, you're good to go. I've got a couple different sizes on those, and that's the Versadapt insert that I've got on the front there. I've got the Cloud Defensive Owl on.
Not in my eyes. Ugh.
That's like the
Even
sun right
shining-
there.
You've been shining IR in your eyes for weeks.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, not weeks. That's an exaggeration.
Wait,
Everything
isn't
on
it
the
burn
show-
your retinals?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like,
Awesome.
is it on?
So I wasn't sure about this gas system, honestly, just because the gas block is like way out towards the end of the barrel, so I wasn't sure exactly what it was. So whatever.
It's a gas block.
It's the Cloud Defensive Owl, which is $400 plus light. I'm going to talk about it very soon because we're going to do a lot of light testing. I've got this Hollow Sun, and this is the HE530G red dot with the circle red dot. Yeah. What's up with all your yawns, Nick?
I don't know. I just can't stop.
I've got
it wasn't me.
I've got a BCM gunfighter charging handle in this. I've got a Hyperfire trigger in this, which is pretty baller. Shut.
That time it was Aaron.
X-Tech Tactical, Aaron, you'll like this because it's that grip that you like where you can adjust the grip angle.
I love that grip.
And I also have an SBA3 brace on this, which is the only brace that anyone should ever buy, in my opinion. And actually, I've got a Flatline Fiberco brace strap on there. Just brand new, just got this in. It's cool as shit. And as soon as Instagram lifts my fucking ban, I'll post pictures of it.
Why are you banned on Instagram?
That's a great fucking question. I wish I knew.
Wait, why is that
Okay.
strap different?
The strap is from
You just-
Flatline Fiberco, so it's
What's
nicer and
different
more
about
heavy. It's nicer, more heavy duty, and looks fancier. As
And
well.
it's in black multicam?
and it's in black multicam, or as Nick would call it, BDU.
No.
So now I know why.
It's a uniform
Okay.
with a specific camo pattern, which is the woodland camo.
What, Aaron?
Now I know why you haven't been liking my stuff on Instagram is because
I can't I can't comment, I can't follow, I can't post, I can't do anything.
So you
How
guys
long
heard
have you
that.
been banned
We
for?
Like Shooting is currently banned. So tag We Like Shooting and everything, so that when Sean comes back, it just blows them up.
There you go. Because I literally
Hey.
can't do fuck all, and I believe it expires on the 21st.
Okay, so I had some questions about about your new pistol.
Yeah. Ask away, buddy.
Okay, so you mentioned something about a different muzzle brake on there. You have the Bowers group on there. Is there anything underneath it, or is it just the Bowers group?
Yeah. It's got the VersaDapt insert on it, and then I can just thread off this Ames flash hider / brake. And I will show you here. And then basically, so it's got this insert there, and I can just direct thread my Bowers Verse 30 can directly on there. So
Nice.
that's cool
All right,
because
that's
if I don't have a go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's really impressive. It's a nice. It's really nice looking. What optic did you say you had on there?
It is the Holosun HE530G. So for a while they were unobtainium. I've had it for a bit and decided to throw it on here because it's kind of Gucci. This rifle is not as Gucci as Nick's rifle, and I'm super jealous of his rifle right now. And he knows it.
Sean's gonna show up like next week with the exact same thing.
Dude, I kind of might because it's fucking awesome. So yeah. And again, that Cloud Defensive, pretty great. Digging it. They sent FDE, and I kind of wish they had sent black, but really, I'm just being a
you
little
have to paint
bitch.
your gun FDE. You know, you have to paint the whole thing to match the light.
You know, I don't know. Maybe I'll send this one in to get it in God's Plaid.
I mean, how many FDE things
But
do
I've
you
got
have?
this super light thing. A lot.
There you go. Get more.
God, the lag is so bad.
I know. I see Aaron's lips move, and then 3 minutes later, I hear his audio.
Yeah.
That is the ugliest faces I've ever seen.
What?
Which is crazy because
We've seen
his
his face.
resting face is just
All right. So yeah, that's my AR pistol. We will be shooting it next week at the range and filming some reviews. And by the way, stay tuned for this week. It's Boogaloo Training Week on our YouTube channel. And you can find that at youtube.com/WeLikeShooting. We released the first one today where we talk about the Century Arms Draco NAC 9X, which, goddamn, we're enjoying that thing.
Yeah, and I was really proud because I got Sean into a verbal corner the other night. We were watching those videos, and there's a joke about Sonny and Crockett in there, or not Sonny and Crockett,
Crockett and Tubbs.
Crockett and Tubbs, yeah. And Sean said that I was tubby. Anyway, we finished the video, you know, and I turned to Sean and I'm like, man, you know, it'd be really cool as a pet alligator. And Sean's like, no, it wouldn't. And I was like, yeah, a pet alligator would be so cool. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, a pet alligator would be so badass to have a pet alligator. And he's like, no, that's like the dumbest thing you've ever said. And I was like, that's why you'll never be Crockett. And I'm so proud of that I just wanted to let you guys know.
It was actually pretty good because I was just like, fuck you, Nick.
I think a pet alligator would be pretty cool, though.
I thought it would be cool.
Why wouldn't you want to?
Yeah, I thought it'd be cool till I found out that their lifespan's like 25 years. And then I was like, no, that's way too long.
I mean, dude, you know how many cats you can remove from the population with an alligator? So many.
Aaron, you should get an alligator.
How many just creatures in general?
Right? Right. And if you don't want it to live very long, just let it live out. Be an outside. It's an outside alligator.
It'll live for
In
one
Colorado,
season.
we freeze it to death. Right. Exactly. No, they live about a year.
Oh damn! I just saw that for their VersaDapt, they have thread protectors. Why I don't got one of those?
Why I don't have one of the muzzle brakes is confusing me as well.
You know, I
Sean.
can send you one. What size do you need? Do you need the 9 or the 45? What do you want to use it
The
on?
muzzle brake. 30 cal. So a 9 would work.
Okay, yeah, I'll send you. How many inserts do you need?
All I need is
Just
all I
one.
need is
Okay,
one-
yeah.
one-
Remind me tomorrow because I'm actually shipping you.
the muzzle brake, not the inserts. I have enough inserts. I just need a muzzle brake.
Oh yeah, I will absolutely send you one that will fit 308. They sent me double what I asked for, so
Nice, because Tom likes you. He doesn't call you. Tom and I, we go around and round about politics.
yeah, that was the most annoying thing about Washington.
That
Right, Nick?
that was the most
Yeah.
annoying.
One of the most.
That was
Actually, no, I take that back. As far as annoying things in Washington, that's like
Okay, moving on.
down below the first floor somewhere.
Yeah, you're right, because getting hit in the face with Hobo Monster and skinning your knee was way worse than that.
Yeah,
I thought throwing
I would say
random
that,
straws in
like-
innocent bystander's hair.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
would you do that?
I would say the Wendy's drive-through was the most annoying.
I will
thing.
honestly say that I have never felt more guilty because that lady, it was like we had hit her in the head with a sledgehammer.
You didn't
She
feel
freaked out
more
pretty hard.
guilty about the Wendy's drive-through, Sean?
I don't remember that, so I don't feel bad about it at all. Anyway, Jeremy, tell us about your product.
So I now own 4 machine guns.
Okay, hold on. Clearly, you were waiting for something. So
No. But
Are any of your machine guns commie based?
negative. No, this one was made in America.
Yeah, but
But look, I'm using a commie weapon in a capitalist manner. I'm basically sticking it to the Ghost of Marx.
It seems like the gun would actually explode and just vanish if you were, it seems like you were adding matter to antimatter. It just doesn't work. Socialism to a capitalism it doesn't work. The gun shouldn't work.
yeah.
Okay. All
So
right. Hey, it's like his brain just stopped. Hey, yes, that's where I was going.
So anyways, I got a full auto AKM now.
What does the M stand for?
Modernized.
What makes it
this is
modernized?
fascinating.
It was made by a guy named Al, right?
What's that?
It was made by a guy named Al, right?
No, it was made by a guy named Modernized.
What? Okay. All right. So Yankovic Armament, they're the ones who put that together.
Yankovic Armament. It's a guy. His last name is Yankovic, and he makes some pretty sweet, pretty high quality build AKs. He'll source a lot of the wood parts of whatever you want, and then pretty much making AKs, receivers, barrels, trunnions, pressing them all, and
I've totally heard of this guy.
yeah, the build quality is really nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I've totally heard of this guy though. Let's see here.
I don't think it's the same guy.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Watch your mouth, or I'll sit on you. The word is out. Better
And
treat
it's how we get our video pulled from YouTube.
You know what? Fuck off, YouTube. Let's see. So Yankovic Armament, that's pretty awesome. Now, Jeremy, you looked like you were having fun shooting it, and I know that that's hard for you to admit, but can you please admit that?
I mean, it's full auto. It's still an AK. We're running what we call the Cold War special,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to shoot a mag out of the M16A1 and a mag out of the AKM, and compare them. And so far, most people like the M16A1 more.
Are you running ads that are like the Cold War has never been so hot?
You should,
No, but that's pretty funny.
you should put up some lingerie and then just like sit on a couch and record saying that with the guns draped over you.
or shoot the guns and then like lay them down on some ice or something so they steam.
Yeah,
There
dry
you go.
ice.
Dry ice, yeah. Just add some water.
Yeah, just pour water on a hot machine gun barrel and
Yeah,
warp
that'd
it.
be badass. You could shoot the person in the stall next to you.
You're like,
Get your war paint on.
not at my range because the stalls are bulletproof.
Boom.
I mean,
That's what's
not
up.
if the barrel is curved enough. You just have to keep doing it till the barrel's curved enough. You just
Only
sort of-
drip it on the left side.
yeah.
Why does our YouTube chat fucking make us screen every message that has even the slightest bad word in it, like dumbasses?
Wait, someone called us a
It's
dumbass?
really annoying.
No, they're just talking and it's like show or hide and graze it out until we click show. Like
Show
fuck
it.
off. Don't you know this is We Like Shooting? We can say whatever the fuck we want as
Yeah,
long as
how
it's
do we
not the 7 dirty
uncensor?
words. I don't know.
Well, we've already said one of
see you
them
next
twice tonight.
Tuesday.
That was my fault. I'm sorry.
Well, not just. I mean, you got one, and Jeremy got one.
I said
I
cunt
said one.
once.
That's
Yeah.
3 times. Yeah. So you can't say cunt anymore.
All right, four
Four.
times. All right, that'll do. So yeah, it looks pretty awesome, Jeremy. Like it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't like the fucking nub on the what's that called?
Donkey Dong.
The
Dong.
Yeah, I don't like the dong on the front.
I thought you loved
I got that only because it was
Nope.
full on.
It makes sense. I just don't like the way it looks. And not on that rifle because I love the way that your AK looks. I just don't like the dongs on AKs.
What I like about
It's fine. It's not
is
yours.
that you can circumcise it and cut it down into a little shark fin, and then you've got like an AFG type thing, but it's all a solid piece of wood, so it doesn't look like garbage.
Yeah,
it's kind of neat.
I'm in. All right, very cool.
It looks
Eric,
like a very flaccid dong at that. By the way,
I feel so bad for Aaron because he's like 3 minutes behind,
right?
Because of the lag.
Or are you guys living in the future?
I think we're living in the future. We're living in 2020. You're living in 2019. By the way, Trump's president again, so fuck you.
What? How'd that happen? You must not. All right. Anyhow,
Aaron, what's your product?
the Nosler Model 48 NCH, guys. Have you seen this thing?
No.
Yes.
I have
Today.
no idea what it could use it for.
Hunting.
I just want to shit all over it, guys.
That seems drastic.
I just want to shit all over it.
This is a thing. Like, this has been around for. This particular one hasn't, but this idea and guns almost identical to this have been around for a very long time.
It's a bolt action pistol.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's a $2,500 bolt action pistol.
Well, okay, there's
Yeah.
shit all over it.
But so it comes in 22 and
it's
24.
super expensive.
Yeah, 7mm, 6mm Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor, and 308.
I don't know. I like
Yeah.
handgun hunting
What? Why?
because a handgun. is
I would love it if it came with like. Right, but
This lag
rifles
is
you can
just-
shoulder.
Mwah.
Yeah, it's fucking awful. Aaron, maybe turn your video off.
You can shoulder a rifle.
It's not going to help with the lag, but it'll help with the
Aw.
space. I'm just kidding.
That hurts.
No, go ahead and turn it off for real. Okay, now I'm going to say snap, and you say crackle. Okay, snap.
Okay. Crackle.
That was like 3 full seconds.
Try again. I'm ready.
Snap.
Crackle.
That was like 2 full seconds.
Crackle.
Aaron, your new internet is fucking.
Really?
Yeah, you fucking ruined everything.
I did. It's broken, but it's less expensive.
Yeah, clearly because it's fucking stupid. Anyway,
So
continue.
not as stupid as this fucking gun.
I think this gun might be running your internet right now.
Hang on. Let me turn it. Let me change. All right. Let's try this. The gun is stupid. I don't care for it. I think it's a terrible idea.
All right.
It's no different than any other pistol that people use in lieu of a rifle and hunt with it to make it more challenging or whatever.
It's
This-
a single shot bolt action pistol.
This is not a thing that I would want, but I can see that there's probably people out there who do want it, and they probably have leather wallets with checkbooks in them.
Yeah, I don't see myself ever buying something like this. However, I do think they're kind of neat. If someone was like, "You want to shoot this?" I'd be like, "Fuck
Mhm,
yeah, I do.
mhm.
Give it to me." I don't know. I kind of see the appeal.
Dude, it's got a 15-inch barrel. It's basically a fucking rifle.
If it had a magazine, I'd be more interested in it. But because it doesn't, I'm just like, this is stupid.
I mean, it physically cannot have a magazine with the way it's set up.
Right,
the
right.
magazine
But
would
if
be
they were, if they moved the action back or the or forward, depending on how it gets placed, then yes, it would be. You could put a magazine in there. I mean, they basically built this thing. They could do anything they fucking wanted, and what they wanted to do was make it a single action bolt action pistol, which really doesn't do you any good. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, like
It's stupid.
Jeremy said, that this is exactly the same as most of the other bolt action pistols. This is a concept that's been around for I don't know what 70s, since the 1970s or 60s. Remington made some. Oh, I can't remember what they called theirs.
Why do
But
they call it retarded? Because that's what it is.
Do you think the like Ruger 1022 Charger is dumb?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
I actually don't even know what that is.
it's the full version of the 1022.
Oh, okay.
And they are awesome because you can put a brace on them. And then you have a not SBR.
Is this a bullpup? Because the action is behind the trigger, or the action is behind the grip.
I think it would be considered a bullpup.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Eric, I'm with you.
if they would have had an attachment to put a pistol brace on it, I would be all for it. But because they don't, it's retarded.
I mean, Remington does have the 700 that they put out. It's also insanely expensive, but it is set up to take a brace and would be pretty cool.
All right.
Then I'm for that. Also,
What?
Oh, were you yawning?
that's all I really want. I was yawning. Yeah.
More like a sigh, Aaron.
Oh well, my yawns are like sighs. They're basically the same thing, but not the kind of sigh when you cut grass with. That's a different kind of sigh.
What's a scythe?
You know,
That's more of a sight.
I
That's
actually want
like-
a bolt action pistol, but I want one that has a brace and everything in 300 blackout.
There you go.
Do you want it to be able to hold a magazine as well?
Yeah, it would be like a normal bolt action pistol or bolt action rifle, but it would have a really short barrel and an arm brace instead of a stock.
There you go. I'm jiggy.
All right. Nick, what is your product tonight?
My product is the Streamlight ProTac Rail XL, which is a flashlight, but not just a flashlight. It's a flashlight from StreamTech. Streamlight, but it's not just a flashlight from Streamlight. It's a ProTech Rail Mount XL or HLX
So,
or whatever.
so does that mean it's fat because it's an XL?
No, it's longer and girthier. So this is a let me grab it.
I'll talk real quick while Nick is grabbing that. This is very interesting speech that I am making.
So this comes with a tape switch, and like most of the Streamlight tape switches, it's got the larger pressure pad portion down here that of course turns the light on and then it goes off as soon as you let go. Or up front, it's got a button that you can depress for constant on. It's got a few different modes, which, of course, Sean's got to get over here. As I've talked about in previous videos with other flashlights, I don't really care for like the multi-mode flashlights. And if you click this one on and off a couple of times, it goes into a strobe mode, which, like, the strobe is sort of handy, but at the same time, I just want my turn on and off. This thing mounts up to a Surefire Scout type mount. So I actually have it mounted on an Arisaka Defense inline M-Lock mount. And I did that because I wanted to avoid having another rail section. And I thought that I'd be able to mount it like a little closer to the handguard, which if it is closer, it's negligible. I also have to say that I sort of hate this mount. On other lights, maybe if I'd gotten one of the shorter lights, this wouldn't be an issue. But the light actually attaches to the mount from the bottom of the mount. And then you have these two screws back here that screw it into the handguard. And even if you take the tail cap off, you still can't reach one of the screws because it is under the fucking flashlight, which really, really irritates me.
And it doesn't even make any sense. Like,
yeah,
it's not like your installation was like that. It's like all installations are fucking stupid.
Unless the other flashlights have a shorter back end or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, this thing is, according to Streamlight, this thing's like 1,000 lumens, I believe it said. It runs off of two CR123A batteries that come with it. This also came with like an adhesive pad, some zip ties, some other stuff like some wood screw type things.
It's 350 lumens, but the important part is it's only 12,000 candela.
You're looking at the wrong one.
I'm looking at the link that you sent.
Yeah, it's got all three lights on it. It's got three different versions of the same light.
Which one did you get?
The HLX.
Oh, okay.
So it's 1,000 lumens. It'll also take the 18650 batteries. It says 27,600 candela.
Better.
Yeah, it's a Streamlight. This is my first rail mounted ProTac, but the ProTac series is a pretty well built, pretty good series. I look forward to kind of beating this thing around like all of my other flashlights and seeing how it holds up. It is plenty bright. I'm quite happy with that. One thing that I'm unsure on is I just used the adhesive pad to install it to my handguard, but the location that I put it is almost directly over my gas block. So I have some M-LOK nuts coming that I can use to attach that.
That's cool.
But I'm interested to see if over time the adhesive pad releases because of the heat from the gas block. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that and see what happens.
Dude, it looks sick. I freaking love that rifle.
Yeah, this is a beautiful rifle. I'm quite pleased with it.
And it's dual fuel, right?
Yeah. So
did you mention that?
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
That's actually pretty damn cool. I think most stuff should be like that. This Cloud Defensive is actually not. You have to specifically use their batteries.
Yeah. And we will play with this thing and compare it with all of the other flashlights that we've been getting lately. Well, mostly that Sean's been getting. I have a few on a list that I would like to get in the future to compare with. But yeah, I think taking that low light class, a couple months ago now?
Yeah.
Was a big eye opener to both of us. And
dude,
I know you are. I am definitely on the hunt for the best light at a reasonable price.
Yeah. I mean, I've basically been on a light buying mission.
Yeah.
Because that low light class, it fucked me up a little bit. And just the fact that I posted on Instagram about because I went and got my Inforce APLC out of the safe that I put brand new batteries in for that Nightfire class. And sure enough, battery's fucking dead. It was May 4th. That class was May 4th. And it was dead. And I posted on Instagram and they reached out and I was like, dude, but I have 4 lights and all of them.
Were you like, can you give me a refund?
No, he was like, I'll send you a new light. And I was like, yeah, but dude, I've got 4 and they're all the exact same. Like, every time I fucking leave them in the safe for a little while, they're done. And I was like, are all 4 of them bad? Like, I mean, you can send me new lights, but is that going to fix something? Did you change the way things are done? I'll give them a chance. They're going to send 4 new lights and I'll send these lights back and they'll have their engineers look them over and then I'll put them in the safe for a couple months and see if the batteries are dead. It's so frustrating, man. I have not touched that gun since May 4th.
Damn.
Star Wars Day.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I was going to say, may the 4th be with you.
Yeah. So I one big thing that I picked up from that class was that on a rifle, a tape switch makes a huge difference for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know you ran into it a little bit. I ran into it quite a bit as well, where I'd be shooting and my thumb would be bouncing off of the button, the little clicky tail cap on the back of my light every once in a while. So it didn't happen a whole lot, but every once in a great while, if I was trying to shoot in a hurry and didn't get like a really great grip, sometimes my thumb would bounce off. And my rifle that I used for a little bit that had the tape switch on it, I didn't have any issues with because, you know, I get a nice large area here. And if my hand slides a little bit because I didn't get a great grip, my light's still gonna be there and be operable. So that's definitely something that has changed. And I want those on all of my guns now.
Yeah, 100% agree. Let's both shine our flashlights into the camera and see if it breaks it.
Woo! What else? I think that pretty much covers.
Price?
This one is $141.99. And like I said, it does come with the tape switch, which is really nice. It comes with a Picatinny mount. It's literally everything. It comes with the batteries. You can literally take it out of the package, put it on your gun. It comes with all of the stuff to mount it on your gun. I just got a little bit fancy because I wanted a lower profile setup.
Dude, it looks sick. Honestly, if you like it, I'll probably end up getting a couple of those as well.
Yeah, I would like to try. They have 2 other versions that are a little smaller and they're less bright. And I think I would like to try one of the smaller ones on my AR pistol.
Aaron.
Yeah. I was concerned because you mentioned that this light was sick, and I was wondering if there's something wrong with it that we should be aware of.
It's dope.
It's ill. Yeah, it's weird. Okay. Just want to make sure we're all healthy and we're doing okay. I know it's like,
buddy, we're good.
It's travel season, guys.
We're good. Savage, what's your
remember to wash your hands.
Okay.
So it looks like ATI is kind of re-releasing an older product in a little bit of a newer package. So they have recently added the new Milsport AR-410 shotgun. So the new, their new version, I think, of this actually comes with a standard-made aluminum mil-spec aluminum AR-15 lower, whereas the previous one worked off of their original polymer hybrid lower, which is basically polymer lower with a brass or aluminum insert for the buffer tube extension. So this new one, I mean, I think it might have to do with the recoil, because heavy recoiling firearms with polymer tend to crack and break them. I mean, even not heavy ones, like even pistol caliber carbines setups, I know for a fact can crack polymer lowers just like this one. So they came out with this new one. It comes in at about 6.5 pounds. It has an 18.5-inch barrel. The cool thing about it, however, is that I think the better attack on this one would be, instead of selling the whole gun, or in addition to selling the whole gun, just sell the upper, because it actually literally goes on any standard mil-spec lower. So they could just sell the upper as well, and their magazines that come with it, the proprietary magazines that either are 5 or 15 rounds, and then you could have a gas operated 410 to shoot. Now, I almost got a little excited about this, because some of you may know that 410 shotguns, many 410 shotguns can also shoot 45 long Colt. However, in their product description, in the other page that I have here, goes back to 2017. It says that cartridges such as the 45 long Colt or 4570 will not operate with this firearm and may cause damage to the shotgun and harm to the operator if attempted. So I'm guessing that probably happened at some point, because somebody's curious, because the 45 long Colt shells are roughly the same dimensions and can be fired out of a 410. So don't do that if you get these. They have a rifled lead slugs out of 2.5-inch shells that'll shoot at about 1,410 feet per second. That's at least what's listed on their product page. I'm not necessarily sure that I see a big advantage into having an ATI or a 410 AR, but I'm open to hearing your guys' opinions on it.
Aaron, I know you have one, so.
I think it's awesome. I'm sorry. I was playing this game where you have to like get these turtles, and you have to like, it's like Candy Crush. So I missed what Savage said. I'm sorry.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
I think it'd be cool to
Is
sell
it thick?
as a lower or as a upper with a magazine. I think it's kind of a neat idea. I don't know that I want to run out and like. I don't really care that much about them, but this goes back to I would love to shoot one. I think the biggest thing that would be really easy for them to fix as far as offering these as a complete rifle is to just not use a polymer frame.
Which they did. It's now an aluminum frame.
Oh, it is now an aluminum.
Yeah,
Okay.
which I think is good, but at $620, I don't know how much I care about a 410.
Oh, so is that the old product listing that's on their website?
No, it's $719.95 off of the Truth About Guns article.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I clicked on the.
Their website shows the Omni lower on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I
So
see.
now I
There's
understand.
two links.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I've seen those ATI Omni hybrid lowers like shot a ton and hold up pretty well. So I don't know. But
Yeah, but with standard AR calibers like 5.56, 300 blackout, 7.62 by 39, they'll
true.
be fine.
I mean, I've shot the 410. I shot the 410. I had one of those for a while.
Yeah.
You had it for a while, so what happened to it?
It was a T&E gun. I
Oh,
did a
okay.
review on it. I thought it was great, and it had the polymer lower. It was fine. The 410 is not that big of a cartridge, so it wasn't really a huge issue.
I'd say that-
polymer receivers on ARs.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be a lot more attractive if you could shoot 45 long Colt out of it. If they can figure that one out, then I think they'd have something interesting there.
Or 4570 government.
Or
Yeah.
4570.
It's the only government I like.
There was a guy doing a conversion on a Sega 410, and he was setting it up for 4570, and it was so cool. And he got like 3/4 of the way through it, and he was doing blog posts that were really detailed on what he was doing. And then he got like cancer or something and just stopped.
It's fun.
It was a real bummer.
What?
That
What
does
a-
suck, actually.
What a douchebag.
I know. He
Wow.
couldn't just like finish it out.
The nerve.
I mean, like, right. I mean, fucking people get cancer all the time. Can't you just finish it?
What's the 12 gauge upper system for the air?
Wait, is that-
for
is that-
the
Air
AR-10? Yeah. What is it? Does anyone remember what company that is?
No, the one that I remember was based out of Montana, and it took proprietary ammo, so it kind of.
Yeah, they actually had to have brass
yeah.
shotgun shells.
Yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
that shit. I'm out.
Hey, Ron, what you gonna do now? I'm talking about lifestyles. Hey, Ron, what you gonna like now? Talk about lifestyles.
Brought to you by Brown Hills.
Aaron Krieger, if you could take your fucking attention away from your game for a second, maybe do your job.
My job is done. So I just ordered I just put in my order for Brownells, and I think I ordered 8 or 9 muzzle brakes, all under $50 for testing. You know, because I got that muzzle brake device. But it's amazing the variety and options you have under $50 for muzzle brakes from Brownells, and that there was still a ton more to get. I just not going to get them. I can't obviously get them all at once.
Because you're
But,
going to.
if you're looking for a muzzle brake, inexpensive. What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. God damn, I interrupted like 5 seconds ago. You've got that rig that you're going to test them all on.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. So I need to get some muzzle brakes in. I've got a couple in house. Plan on doing a bunch more. I really want to see how that works. So yeah. So Brownells has a great options for inexpensive muzzle brakes if that's what you're looking for. I mean, they have some out there for like $6, $9, $12. Boom, right there.
Yeah, no, they're freaking
Anyhow,
awesome. You can find it all brownells.com.
my lifestyle.
Your internet is
God
fantastic.
damn this lag.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's green. Oh, it was green a second ago.
It's not pissing me off at
You
all.
know what? We never had this problem with the old system.
We never had this problem when you had the old internet.
When we had the old system too.
What old?
But anyhow,
what
we
old
were
system?
using Google Hangouts versus.
No, you got
Just
new
fucking
internet.
be patient. I'll answer your question. Be patient. I'll answer your question in 6 to 8.
How does this work? I see your lips move in real time, and then like a fucking half hour later, I see your goddamn, or I hear your stupid voice.
Maybe your senses are broken.
See, I fucking saw you say it like 3 seconds ago, and then it just came through finally. Am I on? Did I have like 6 marijuanas or something? What's happening?
Okay, I'm gonna start talking,
Dude,
and
no.
I'm gonna start talking about the show.
Here's the test that I want to do, Aaron. You'll get this. You'll get my. It's like speaking. Did you ever watch Contact with Jodie Foster?
Yeah.
And how it like takes years for the fucking messages to go across. All right.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you're muted. Jeremy, you're muted.
I said, I want you to say clap and say clap when your hands hit. Go clap.
How about as soon as Sean claps, I'll give him a thumbs up.
No, the weird thing is that your audio and your video are not synced. Like your video is real time. Your audio is delayed by like 5 seconds. So I'm going to show you. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to clap your hands. And then I will tell you when I hear your clap. I'll tell you when I see it, and I'll tell you when I hear it.
Okay, you ready?
Yep. Saw it. Heard it.
Like 1.5 seconds.
That's so weird. Like you think the video would be behind the audio?
Yeah, it's so confusing. I don't understand. We got to get this
Turn
shit
your
fixed.
fucking video off because nobody will get to look at you anyways.
Mm,
It does, but apparently it doesn't make a difference.
yeah.
All right, so
He's
tonight's
looking so much
lifestyle subject.
Yes. What is it?
Tonight's lifestyle subject: Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, guys. Scooby-Doo.
Is that a lifestyle?
Yeah, because I watch it on the show with my kids, and I never understand why they just don't fucking shoot the ghost. Just shoot the ghost. It would solve so many problems. If Scooby-Doo gang carried guns, if it was a gun lifestyle, they would not have problems with these ghosts because they're really just people dressed up, and they would just drop them, and the crime would be solved. But instead, they run around being chased by ghosts, thinking they're being haunted. If they would, go ahead.
But then it'd be murder.
Self-defense.
Self-defense.
You know what would be awesome? Would be a supernatural.
They didn't have any weapons. They were just trying to scare them.
Hey, they're ghosts. They're already dead. Who the fuck cares?
Sean Maloney will pull the mask off, and the guy will be like, no, you would have got away with it. It wasn't for a CD. I think that's backwards. I don't know.
You know what I hate about the newer Scooby-Doo shows is I saw a couple episodes with some of my nephews, and there was like a witch or something, and she was real. I was like, that kind of defeats the purpose of Scooby-Doo, right?
Wait,
Yeah, but a lot of those started to happen, like even when I was young.
Now, was it 13?
Yeah, like the whole thing where like I don't remember, but it was like the whole thing where they were like in that monster race with like the monster mobiles, and like that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's no good. I want my monsters to be Mr. Smithers, not or Old Man Smithers, not fucking an actual monster. Nothing scarier. I want my monsters in Scooby-Doo to be Epstein.
Well, then he would be a ghost.
And be like, what a cool way to do if it wasn't for you damn Clintons.
Michael Bloomberg.
There you go.
Rape little kids.
Hey,
So, yeah.
did you guys did you hear that Epstein's had a little black book and Michael Bloomberg was in it? Obviously, it means he's a pedophile.
Wow. All right, Aaron. So for the people who don't know, Savage had this story in, and we had this whole huge argument / debate in our Slack today about this, and finally it was like, whatever, vote yes to include it, vote no to not include it. Aaron was so anti. He's the one who brought it all up. He's like, I don't think we should talk about it. It's not relevant. Nick agreed that we shouldn't talk about it. Savage wanted to talk about it. And then I don't remember how I voted. I think I said, yes, we'll talk about it. And then I left the tiebreaker up to Jeremy, who said no. So we didn't talk about it. But the person who made the biggest deal out of it and didn't want to talk about it and was, just being belligerent the whole time was Aaron.
I was not belligerent. I was not belligerent.
Was he belligerent?
He was adamant.
I stated
honestly,
I
misunderstood the argument.
I know.
Yeah, because you kept answering the wrong question. I was like, fucking. But the person who was against it from the get-go, wanted nothing to do with it, and made a big deal out of it was Aaron, and now he's the one who brings it up on the show. I feel like that's a Sean thing to do.
I was playing the long game. I was playing the long game on this. As soon as it was voted no, I'm like, I'm bringing it up on the show.
I let it go immediately after the discussion was over, and then fucking Aaron.
Oh, that's fucking wonderful. Okay.
I actually played it out all day. It was great.
Well planned, Aaron. That's so good. It's time for Going Ballistic, where Aaron will fuck Savage over and steal his news story.
Can we just have the show title be Bloomberg is a rapist?
No. Because he can afford to sue us a lot. Okay, Savage, Aaron, and would you like to steal any more of Savage's stories?
No. I am done. Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Hey, what do you guys think of? All right, let me ask you this though. What do you guys before you start? What do you guys think of writing an article about guns, but from the point of view of back to school?
No.
Greatest guns for back.
Absolutely.
No. Oh my god.
What would be your choices for back to school guns?
No,
this was shit canned. Like we let this go. You need to let this one go.
Yeah.
Well, no, I totally
This was
intend
another
to,
almost
but
unanimous vote.
Yeah, this was a unanimous vote, except for Aaron.
I thought it was a great idea.
It's not.
All right. Sorry.
No.
We should let our
Go back to
listeners
school
decide.
then.
No.
What's your
Should
feedback
we?
on that, Kimball?
Go ahead, buddy.
Are you interested? Do you want to know?
No,
Savage,
I just
go
want
ahead.
to move forward. Anyway, first story coming out of Florida. Some of you may remember last year there was a 49-year-old white male named Michael Drejka, and he was basically yelling at this lady who was parked in a disabled parking spot, basically cussing her out and threatening her. And then her significant other, Mr. Michael McLaughlin, came out and confronted the man, pushed him to the ground, started walking away and backing up, and Drejka pulled out a firearm and shot the man. Initially, he wasn't arrested. The sheriff cited at the time, and not correctly, stand your ground law, because it would not have counted as stand your ground because Mr. McLaughlin was backing away and was not currently threatening the life of Mr. Drejka. But nevertheless, it has brought up the case of whether stand your ground law is an issue or not. And in this case, it would not have been stand your ground law at all, because the man, Drejka, had fallen on the ground and this guy was walking away, so there's no need. I think they're going to try for self-defense. But the crazy thing here is that the civil rights attorney, Ben Crump, who these people are referencing, who also represented Trayvon Martin's family, and so he's representing the McLaughlin's girlfriend. And, again, Trayvon Martin, not a stand your ground law. It was a simple self-defense case, but they're trying to pull stand your ground into this for political reason. He says that the law says that you can pick a confrontation. You can be the initial aggressor. You can kill an unarmed black person, and then you say, "Oh, it was in self-defense. I was standing my ground," and you can get to go home and sleep in bed at night. And that is complete and utter bullshit. Stand your ground does one single fucking thing only, and that is it. It removes a duty to retreat if your life is under threat and in danger. So it says you do not have to do everything you possibly can, as unrealistic as it may be, to escape the situation. You can confront your attacker. Now, it doesn't mean that if your attacker has stopped attacking you and has gone away, that you can pick up your gun and shoot them. What the courts decide in these situations are the reasonable person standard, whereas would a reasonable person be considered in their right mind to shoot a person who is backing up and had stopped threatening a person, the person who shot? And in this case, I don't think the jury is going to find that. Stand your ground law does not allow you to start fights and shoot people and claim stand your ground law as a defense. That's complete bullshit. So what I hope happens is Mr. Drejka gets convicted in this, because I think the video and a lot of other confounding factors, like he has done this kind of thing before where he's violently threatened people over parking spots in handicap places. I hope he gets convicted, and so there won't be this issue of whether it was a stand your ground case or not, because it's not. It's never has been a stand your ground law. But people like to play politics, and this is what we get.
And you know what? You're just as bad as Obama and mainstream media, because in this story that doesn't matter race one bit, you chose to be like a black man, and you chose to add.
That's what the story says. It literally says that in the story.
know.
I'm reading it from the story.
And it's just as fucking bad here. Like this story doesn't matter what races anyone was.
Ignore the race. The race doesn't fucking matter. I'm specifically speaking on to whether it's a case of stand your ground law or not. I was just reading the damn words on the thing, and I disagree with how it was presented.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But you read it verbatim without any editorial talking about your disagreement with it. So I assumed that was your opinion as well. Also, because of your history with blaming everything on race, I thought that. But this story is so fucking stupid because it has nothing to do with race. It has to do with a dickhead shopkeeper that basically murdered somebody, in my opinion. And we've talked about this on this show before. I've talked about it on This Week in Guns before. It has nothing to do with race. And of course, USA Today and I apologize, Savage. USA Today has a 49-year-old white man and a 28-year-old unarmed black man. No, it's a piece of shit fucking human being and another human being that got murdered by a piece of shit human being.
What happened?
Agreed.
Because I can't read USA Today.
All right, so here's what happened: is what's his name, McLaughlin, the guy who got shot. His girlfriend or fiance or whatever parked in a handicapped parking spot, and this storekeeper, the shopkeeper, basically yelled at him and argued with him. The guy goes in the store. They end up in a pushing match because he was the shopkeeper was reprimanding the person who had parked poorly and illegally. They get into a pushing match. The dude runs out of the store. The other dude walks up and shoots him, basically. And when you see the
older fella gets shoved and he falls down onto the ground, and then he draws and fires.
Yeah. But when you see inside the store, you're like, okay. But then the dude leaves the store and he's out on the sidewalk out there.
Yeah.
And then that's where I'm just like, no, you were not at risk. There was no jeopardy, ability, opportunity. And in Florida, there's no requirement for preclusion. So you're not that guy. And this whole story has pissed me off the whole time because I'm like, the shopkeeper's wrong. Bottom line. Like he was not at risk for death or serious bodily injury based on the video that we see. Sorry, Savage, you were going to disagree. Go ahead.
No, I just in the details of what went down. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the video, but I remember it being absolutely ridiculous. And because I mean, the dude is even out like in the parking lot with his hands up in front of him while the other
not a threat at all. Yeah, it was cold-blooded murder.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it.
I don't know. At some point, we should be allowed to cold-blooded murder people that don't return their shopping carts back and people that park in handicap spots.
Well, then, Jeremy,
I shop at Aldi's,
and they don't have like a trailer.
I shop at Aldi's, and you got to pay for your shopping cart, so you get the money back when you return it. Think I'm going to miss out on that? Nope.
That's why Aldi's does it, so they don't have to hire somebody to do it.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm thinking backwards. The guy on the ground was the one.
Yes.
The shopkeeper.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I apologize. But yeah, still, I don't believe he was. No, I feel the same way about it. The details I mixed up backwards, but I still feel the same way. I don't believe he was in risk of death or serious bodily harm. But then again, how can we ever know?
I mean, at that point, I feel like an argument could be made because he is a much older man, and being pushed down like that could cause harm to him. However, one, he deserved it. Two, he put himself in that situation.
If you're gonna rip into somebody for parking in a handicap spot, I feel like that's something everybody should do.
Yeah, but don't turn it into a physical confrontation.
I mean, it depends on who went first.
And it's not the first time he'd done it. Like, he threatened people with a gun over the handicap parking spot multiple times.
Yeah, the guy was backing away, not advancing towards him.
I mean, he shoved him on the ground and was standing over him. That would be
he backed up.
He's
backed up.
Yeah, he's backed up and walking away.
He's actually starting to turn when he gets shot. Like, he takes a couple steps back, and like as he's turning, keeping his eyes on the guy, he gets shot.
It's murder.
Justifiable.
Yeah,
is it though?
No, it's not justifiable. It's murder.
It's for my morals.
Well, we know
I mean,
that.
don't park in handicap spots. I mean, those are there for a reason.
I'm not saying
Fat people need them.
I'm not saying the dead dude was wrong or wasn't wrong. I'm saying, I don't know. It just
there's no need to escalate it to fucking shooting somebody.
Over in the chat, I got called out. That's fine. I agree. Then Morpheus says he was an old disabled guy laying on the ground. I think it was a shitty shoot, but I understand him shooting. God, it's so hard to put yourself in this situation because I'm thinking like if you just got your ass pushed down, and it's a pretty violent push down, but then the guy is like, he turns and starts to step away, and that's when he gets shot.
Yeah, but in the heat of the moment,
I beat you down.
That's the part.
In the heat of the moment, are you seeing him turn? Like, you already got the gun coming out, pushing forward, and you're already on drop this dude mode. To stop yourself at that point, it was, OODA loop, man.
Yeah, I know, man. It's so tough because you don't know what's going through his head. Like, I've never been in that situation.
This clip that we have pulled up here doesn't show all of it. It shows from where he gets shoved and falls down, where the shooter gets shoved and falls down. And as I recall, he shoved first, and then the dude responds by shoving him harder.
Yeah. Because there was a definitely clear escalation.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I thought it was a shitty shoot then.
I do think it's a yeah, he murdered that guy.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Don't park in handicap spots. They're there for a reason.
Return your
It's
fucking
not
car
for you.
and tip 15% unless they literally like punch you in the face or something.
Right. Or if you're in Canada,
Or Britain or whatever. I don't know. It pisses me off, man.
They don't tip in Canada?
I don't know. Hey, Savage, what if somebody was victimized by a red flag law?
Well, too late. It's already happened.
Oh, shit.
Right? So this is basically the same thing we have been warning about since forever, that red flag laws not only are going to be abused and misused, but I mean, they're going to take advantage of people that had nothing to do with the situation to begin with. And that's what happened in the case with John Carpenter of Osceola County, Florida. God, Florida has some weird county names. So apparently he was sitting at home and a mail carrier knocked on his door and delivered. Sorry?
I said that's racist. You're a racist.
Okay. So the mail carrier knocked on his door and he got a letter from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services saying that they were going to be, what is this? An injunction was put on him and a restraining order from his acts of domestic violence or acts of repeat violations. So his CCW got suspended and he went down to the courthouse to see what the hell was going on. So he went to the initial clerk. He went to the county sheriff. The sheriff said, yeah, it's probably not you, but we probably had to do it anyway just to be safe. So you're going to have to go to court. So they compared him even to the guy in question. So the man in question was 5'8". Carpenter's 5'11". So, I mean, that's kind of close. But the guy in question is 110 pounds, and Carpenter's over 200. They had different color hair. Carpenter didn't even have hair, and the guy in question was covered in tattoos, and Carpenter has very few, if any. So there's clear evidence that this guy is not the one who's supposed to be restrained in the restraining order. The guy in question had just totally destroyed an apartment, broken up a bunch of furniture, was dealing drugs out of it, and abusing his girlfriend and whatnot. So basically, this law was passed in order to catch criminals, and what ended up going on is this guy with the same kind of name, so mistaken identity, doesn't even look close to the person, never lived in the house that person lived in. Nothing is kosher in this thing, and yet this guy has been denied his rights, and he has to go to court in order to get everything switched back around. And so he's basically going to have to pay for a lawyer and get all this shit taken care of because some other fuckhead with the same name screwed him over. And this kind of makes me nervous because there's a guy with my same name in Spokane, the town where I live in, and he has gotten in some trouble for some shit, and I don't want to have my fucking rights screwed up because of this asshole who's done some shitty things in his past.
I just want to say I disagree with you on one thing that you said, and you said that law was made to catch criminals. It wasn't. It was made to screw law-abiding citizens over.
Well, I mean, yes. In practice, yes.
Yeah, this is the danger. And so what happened? The dude died or what?
No, basically he's just in the process of going through and trying to go through the courts and get things straightened out because that's the only options he has. He can't just he went to the sheriff. The sheriff said he couldn't tell him for sure, but he thinks what happened in this particular case is that it was just a simple case of mistaken identity. and he stated that the police and the courts do make mistakes all the time, but he insisted it's better to make mistakes than not do anything, So he just basically has to go through, get a lawyer, and get this shit reversed to prove his identity to the court that he's not this other dude. The asshole. Yeah, completely. The onus should not be on him. It needs to be on the courts, and that's why there's fucking due process. Fucking process. You get evidence. You show who the perp is. You show what he's done wrong and why you need to take this shit away from him. You take that to a judge. The judge issues a subpoena or a court order or whatever, and then you arrest the guy. Then you go through the process of determining whether he's guilty or not, and then you take the guns away. You don't take the guns first from some random dude who's not fucking related at all, and then make him go under all the expense of going through the court and be guilty until proven innocent. That's not how our fucking laws work.
Yep. Next story, man.
I'm going to skip the James Allen Fox one because it's just, I think we're going pretty long on this one. But we can go to the next one is interesting. It's the Trump one. So just today, Trump.
The most interesting story, I think, is this one, and we can just briefly touch on it. But basically, the nation's leading scholar of mass shootings has come out and basically said that media coverage of horrific events such as El Paso and Dayton stoke unwarranted fear and anxiety, and that there's no evidence that there is an epidemic of mass shootings or anything else. Like, I think that's so incredibly interesting.
Well, I mean, it is, and I'm sorry, I want to skip it. I just figured we were going long, but I mean, it's something I've been repeating constantly on the show, and I've done it every so often during the year and over several years. And it just goes back, there's multiple different organizations, and many of them are just fucking made up from Reddit. I mean, seriously, you can't make this shit up. A subreddit on Reddit made up a fake definition of mass shooting and has been petitioning all these news outlets with their version of their definition, which basically makes anybody who's even partially harmed during any kind of shooting, as long as there's 4 people harmed, that counts as a mass shooting. They don't even have to be shot or anything. And so that's where you see all these statistics coming from, 330,000 mass shootings a year. No, it's not. These people are just counting anybody who gets minorly injured up to being killed and counting that as a mass shooting. And then scientists like James Allen Fox, like the Congressional Research Service, who use a very set definition that they've been using for the last 30 years or so, which is 4 people killed while being shot, not including the shooter, counts as a mass shooting. And that's a very different and stable number. It's something like 20 to 25 mass shootings in a given year, and that hasn't really changed much over the last 20 years. But because we have media, and media sensationalize it, and blood on the streets, equals money in their pockets, they want to get as much sponsor money as they possibly can by getting as many eyes on the story as they possibly can. So they cover mass shootings out the yin-yang, basically to profit off of dead bodies. And it's completely unethical on the part of the media, and we need people like James Allen Fox, like the Congressional Research Service, correctly informing the public that there is no increase in this kind of event, despite the fake, I can say it, the fake news, the propaganda put out by bad actors, organizations like those subreddits, like the Gun Violence Archive, like Everytown and Moms Demand Action.
So I was thinking today, because I'm always saying mass media is the enemy, and I was watching a bunch of stuff on Vice today about North Korea, and that a lot of North Koreans, like, clearly there's some of them that are woke, but a lot of them believe that Kim Jong Un or Kim Jong Il or Kim Il Sung or whatever are like the greatest
Little
thing,
Kim
that are the greatest thing that has ever existed, and that they basically paint the sun and the moon and the stars every night before they go to bed. And I was thinking, like, how do they perpetrate
a lot of work?
And what they do is they eliminate any external media stories, any other kind of sources of information, and they basically just blast propaganda from their government-controlled media sources. And while it's not a direct correlation to the United States, when you talk about the mass media and how much they are owned by same people that have these aspirations of gun control and taking guns away from the general population, I kind of start to see some parallels there. And because of the ownership, because of Bloomberg, who was on Epstein's Black Book.
Because he's a pedophile.
Because of all those things, I start to see some correlation. When a very small, motivated group of individuals with political aspirations and aspirations for a gun-free society control most of the mainstream media, and they start to, and there's videos out there with dozens and dozens of channels saying the exact same propaganda. It's out there. It's not fake. It's real. And it exists, and it's a thing that exists. They're all pushing the same messages, pushing the same propaganda. I can start to see why people would start to believe that, and why we would end up with people having to come out and say, look, there is no epidemic of mass shootings out there. This is what people want. Again, North Korea is a lot different than the United States, but I kind of wondered, how do you brainwash an entire nation? And it's by restricting and then feeding them the news that you want them to hear. And we're seeing that, I think, to a limited degree here in the United States. And I agree, and I stand by my statement that mass media is the enemy. And then I look at North Korea and how they are, and I just think about how do you brainwash an entire population? Because clearly, the gun cult. I'm trying to start a cult here.
Talk to my brother. My brother is pretty left of center. And me and him got into an argument the other day, and he literally told me that America has center left and far right, and that's it.
Well, obviously he's stupid.
He firmly believes that the Democratic Party that we have nowadays and some of the people in it, that the farthest left we have is center left, and then a bunch of far right. Because that's the media. That's the things that he reads, and that's what he hears.
Right, but we all live in an echo chamber. We get the news that we want to hear from the sources that we want.
That's actually not true.
It's definitely not true.
Only if you're getting your news off of Facebook or Twitter or something like that. The fact is that mass media is a form of psychological warfare. It's controlled by the few, and they definitely have a set agenda and a goal. I mean, the main goal is to make money. That is the primary goal. But there is also political agendas behind most of mainstream mass media, and it is psychological warfare. And there's definitely instances where you can point to government influences within that. And I don't think Sean's too far off from saying that. It's that kind of a case. And when you get into communication studies, you see
Sean says the media. Sean says the media is the enemy, and I disagree with that. The enemy are people who are trying to kill us. The enemy are people who are trying to ruin our lives. The enemy
they're trying to
people
control
who are
you.
against us.
They're trying to control you.
No,
that is
the enemy's not trying to control you. No, it's not. Laws are trying to control you. That means the government's trying to control you. That means the government is the enemy. In every aspect of your life, the government is the enemy.
Yes, the government's the enemy. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, governments have been the enemy of free men since the beginning of time.
Aaron, you don't forget that the Revolutionary War occurred because they were rebelling against a government that was the enemy. History repeats itself.
That government is not the same government as that was a monarchy.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We don't live in a monarchy.
Hong Kong, Venezuela.
No, you said our revolution. Now you're moving the goalposts and naming all these other countries. Our revolution was not because you were just saying. Well, I'm just saying you need to stick to the facts, and the facts are that we rebelled against a monarchy.
Do you think we have the government that our founding fathers intended?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't think we have a lot of things that our founding fathers intended.
Do you think
but
that the media
mean they're our enemy?
Do you think that the mainstream mass media does not have any external goal to push people to think and behave in certain ways that align with those goals?
I think they talk to an audience that wants to hear what they're selling, because that's all the media does. For the most part, the media is selling people a thought stream, and yes. It's there to influence one way or the other. Political ideologies do fall into the news segments. Yes, I agree with that. It doesn't make them the enemy. The enemy is ignorance.
That's who the enemy is. If you want to sit there and believe everything you see without doing the research, without thinking for yourself, then you're an idiot and you are the enemy of yourself, not the media who's feeding this to you. Yes, you're eating it up. Nom, 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 nom. You know, you're dumb for doing that. You're an idiot for thinking that everything you see and hear on the news.
But you don't think that a media that is pushing a biased agenda is an enemy of free people?
I think the people who follow the media as gospel aren't free in their minds. They're idiots.
That's not the question I asked.
Yeah,
the media is purposefully trying to sway public opinion by putting out bullshit facts that are easily checkable, but they do it because they want to sway public opinion in a way that they want to control the masses.
Right. I mean, go back.
Not evil.
Go back to Nazi Germany, back in the time when when the Goebbels, I think I want to say that, I don't know if he was the propaganda prime minister, but those guys specifically, it was a state-sponsored media, and they put out propaganda. It was movies, news, whatever, in order to influence the population to think a certain way. What happened from that? Think of all the anti-Jewish propaganda that was put out back then. And
listen, the flaw with that argument is the news that came out was one-sided. There was one party that ran all the news. All the news was covered.
Yeah, but now we have two parties that run all the news.
Right, and it's a thought, and I go back to the whole statement of it's an echo chamber. You go to the channels that you want to hear, the news that you want to believe, instead of.
Do you want to hear? You want to hear an interesting fact, Aaron?
No, because I don't actually. Okay, I do. No, hit me, man. Hit me with your interesting fact.
We talk about how each of us lives in an echo chamber, and that's actually not true.
I know you said that earlier.
Well, depending on which alignment you have, conservative or progressive, conservative people are more likely to get a more rounded news source than progressives are. They've actually done studies.
And I'm sure that came from a conservative news site.
No, I got that from a fucking liberal.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Especially when you call him a liberal.
Listen, he calls himself a liberal.
You're just.
I'm not talking about a fucking libtard or any of that. I'm talking classical liberal, the actual fucking meaning of the goddamn word.
And here, I'm going to tell you something. Go back to what time was it? Go to Slack right now and go to the picture I posted earlier, and that at 10:47 p.m. Look at the picture. It's called Word 7. Go ahead. I'll wait for you.
Just make your point. It's not a choose your own adventure. Just
almost all statistics are made. My point is almost all statistics.
No, you can actually do studies. You can actually do studies and look at statistics. I'm not giving you numbers because I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. I don't have them in front of me.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you right now, people look at your community. Look at your community. It's off the same for the most part. It's a lot of like-minded people. People congregate together to hear and live in the same people. The people you hang out with. We all have the same ideas. We all have the same thoughts. Not the exact same thoughts, but we all have a lot of the same principles.
But here we are, sitting on the conservative side when it comes to guns, reading left-leaning news sources to talk about, where the left doesn't do that to the right. They just say,
how do you
these
know?
Are bullshit and I don't listen to them at all. Because they've done studies, motherfucker.
Ooh.
It's a fucking study. People study this shit.
And
people go, I wonder if we really do live in an echo chamber. I'm going to make some fucking calls. Because here's the problem. There's one news source in this country, one major news source that would be considered conservative, and the rest are very clearly pretty fucking left, right?
Okay, so we got
so it's pretty hard as
Real Clear Politics. We got the Washington Post. We have Fox.
Hold on.
CNN, MSNBC, ABC.
You said one.
I am going to mute you guys if you don't pause for 1 second. Okay? Listen. If the right had 75 news anchors spouting the same rhetoric, I would feel the exact same way about that. It just so happens that the 75 news anchors spouting the exact same rhetoric are preaching a message of gun control. Okay?
And I'm not denying that. However,
no, there's no
denying
however.
that. No, there is a however, but it happens on the right as well. It happens on both sides. We can't just say the left.
It does happen. Yes, it does happen on both
Chocolate
sides.
chip is the best ice cream.
Yeah. So
I just wanted to put that in
I
there.
like how Aaron never ever offers any concrete data, but he expects everyone else to.
No, look, I can show you the video where I think it was Real Clear Politics. Every single anchor read the exact same speech. Every single one.
Yeah.
Local anchors.
That's what I'm talking about.
And that was a conservative news broadcast. It was not a liberal. I'm just saying it happens on both sides. You need to open your eyes and believe that. You just want to blame one side.
Aaron, did I ever once say that left-leaning news media is the enemy? No, motherfucker.
No. He said media.
Mainstream media is the fucking
mainstream.
enemy. Quit putting
both
words in my
left
mouth.
and right.
I'm not putting
Both
words,
left
but
and right.
you just said
Right.
75 news anchors spouting gun stuff against guns. So I don't see a lot of the people on the right spouting, anti-gun
Mainstream
stuff.
media is the enemy and is similar
that's fine.
to North Korea in their regurgitation
And that's
and their
and
propaganda. That's
I'm
what I
okay
said.
and I'm okay with your opinion. I just don't agree with it. And I gave you the reasons why. I say it happens on both sides.
I don't care. I'm not
and-
trying to convince you.
I'm trying to explain myself to the people who are out there listening and say Aaron's crazy. I'm not crazy. It's basic. People are stupid if they believe everything they hear on the news. That's all I'm saying.
Right. It's never the people trying to frame the message. It's the people who hear the message and believe it. Cool. Yes. So North Korea sucks.
Hold
on.
No. That's bullshit. What you just did to me. That's what you just did to me was take my argument and make me sound like an idiot. That's what you just did there. Agree or disagree?
North
Agree
Korea
or
sucks.
disagree?
It's all the citizens' fault. Disagree.
I mean, it is the citizens' fault. They should revolt and overthrow
Exactly.
the government.
They should. I agree because their
Yeah.
government and the government-controlled media is their enemy.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly. The government and the media in North Korea.
No, that's how you
is the
say
enemy.
government-controlled media, and you have one media source there. One
That's all
media
there is.
source. Not here in the States.
All there is.
We in the States we have many media sources. We have many different people with many different agendas. It's not just one news source. It's many news sources. Go ahead.
Okay, are you done? Because I made my point. I don't know if you're done making yours.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy with where I left
Okay,
it.
good. All right. And, really, because they're tearing you up in the comments. But Savage next.
That's fine. That's fine. But see, you always have to have the last word there, huh?
No, I was. Do you have anything else to say?
Nick, will you read some of the comments? I want to hear what they're saying about me.
Sean's on point. Love how when Aaron gets cornered, he just goes back to believing that all stats are made up. A person has to look at both sides from at least a couple different sources and decide for yourself. I can't wait. There you go. One comment. I can't wait for the day when Aaron has a moment of clarity and cries on camera. Aaron, the idiot or the entity that is purposely spreading misinformation or propaganda. Aaron is the enema of the state.
Come on now.
Wow, another angry argument. I'll be on at the wrong time. Anyway, we're done. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I read every comment there that was relating to this conversation. I wasn't picking and choosing.
If those people want to walk around with blinders on, that's fine.
Yes, okay. It's everyone else, never Aaron.
See, there you go. You always got to hit me with one more thing, don't you? You can let it go. You're the one that's always got to slap me around a little bit more, right?
Comment about people want to walk around with blinders on.
Yeah, and that's, yeah.
Savage,
I'm talking about the people. People want to walk around with blinders. You want to be
Go to the
sheep.
reviews.
They're the sheep.
Savage
They're
next
the
story.
sheep.
Savage next story.
I'm about to be y'all motherfuckers.
Holy shit. We're calling this one the end of Aaron and Sean's friendship.
No.
Hey, I love Sean. Sean's my best friend in the world.
I think he's one of the idiots.
disagree on this. What? we disagree on some things, and this is the one thing we disagree on mostly.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, we've historically always disagreed on this, and
But we always
that's
end up
okay.
hugging it out at the end because that's
Yeah,
who we
dude, I'm not mad at you.
We
I
should
just
read the
think
reviews.
you're retarded.
are. I think you're wrong, but
I know.
and I'm not going to call you names because of it. Unlike
And I'm
you.
okay with it. I'm okay with it. Like we don't have to agree.
Oh my god.
Next
We
story.
get it.
Next story.
Next story. Okay. Well, hopefully this one will be shorter.
We'll see.
So, right immediately after the recent mass shootings that happened a few weeks back, Donald Trump came forward and said that he was going to support massive more background checks like you've never seen before. And so 2 weeks later, after hopefully being consoled by his son and some other people that still might be working in the NRA that haven't left yet, he has recently backed down from that and said he's no longer interested in expanding on background checks. But I mean, it's more evidence that we have that Trump had really not a friend at all of the Second Amendment, because the first time something happens, he immediately goes on an anti-gun trip. That's his first reaction to all this shit. So if any of you guys out there are Trump supporters and you think he's going to be there and supporting your Second Amendment rights, no, his first instinct is to fuck your Second Amendment rights. And then after people do a shit ton of work and basically try and yell his ear off, he finally backs down. But so far, he says this week, he's saying, we're not going to go after background checks anymore. He just says that we have a big mental health problem that needs to get fixed. Obviously, he doesn't have any kind of fucking solution for that. But, this is what we're going to have to deal with during this presidency.
Hey, you know what? When someone realizes that they're wrong and fucking admits it and says, okay, let's actually go after the right track, I can respect that. I'm not saying that Trump is like the be all end all. I'm not saying he's good for our gun rights, but he was clearly wrong. He clearly says, you know what? I'm going to change my tact on this. We're going to go after mental health. And I can admire someone who, when they're proven wrong or when they realize that they're wrong, they change their tact.
You need to work on that. Oh, slam! I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared right now. I can see the fire in his eyes.
No, I mean, it's okay. You know what? The people who listen to the show, I'll tell you what. Everyone out there, if you think I'm wrong, send an email. automated@welikeshooting.com. If you think Aaron's wrong, send an email. automated@welikeshooting.com. Let us know what you think. I would be glad to hear it. If you think that Jeremy's wrong, send us an email.
Put it in the subject line.
No, just send an email. We'll get those messages and we'll read them on Dear WLS.
Wait, what if they think that I'm wrong? If you guys think that I'm wrong, send an email.
Well, you didn't ever give an opinion.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Savage did. Jeremy did. I did. Aaron did.
It's because
so go ahead.
Repeating the same opinion over and over again is boring, and then the argument always inevitably happens.
I agree.
And I don't really care for the argument, so
yeah, I agree. But I'm not going to back down and stand down and I think mainstream media is the enemy. I'm never going to change my opinion on that. And Aaron's never going to back down either, and that's fine. You got to have the courage of your convictions. But I want you guys to email us, automated@welikeshooting.com. On that last argument, we want to hear what you think.
Wait, so you're saying that I don't have courage in my convictions?
I'm saying that you don't have a strong enough opinion to share it or care about it.
Wow. All right.
Well, I mean, you can.
Fuck you, Sean. You know what?
You clearly have the platform here to share your opinion if you want, and you don't. That's fine. Like I'm not criticizing. You just don't feel like having the argument.
Eric over in the live chat. # Nick is right. That's correct.
So yes, I would like to hear them. And honestly, if they're like super bad, we don't even have to read them. But I would like, because Aaron and I both see these emails, I would like to hear you guys' opinions on that last argument. But yes,
what do you mean by youth guys?
I think that Trump dropping that support after realizing that he misspoke and acted like a jackass, I think it's a good thing. And I would rather him do that than freaking when Jesus comes spouting the same nonsense.
I don't think his motivation was he realized it was the right thing. I think he realized that a lot of Second Amendment supporters are getting ready to drop his ass as far as voting is concerned in the next election, which is coming up fairly soon, if he supported something like that. So I don't think, again, it's not about he had a come to Jesus moment and his conscience got the better of him. I think he just wants to be president and he's willing to do whatever it takes and say whatever it takes in order to get that again.
Yeah, good motherfucker. That's what lobbying is. It's making them do what we fucking want them to do by pressuring them with political power.
So that's good on us, not good on him.
No, it's good on us and it's good on him by bowing to the fucking needs of his electorate.
The thing that sucks is that in this upcoming election, I'm honestly not sure that we have a better option coming down the line. I mean, it's basically going to be Trump or whatever Democratic fuck. I can't even. I'm so irritated.
Nominee.
Yeah, whoever gets the nomination in the Democratic Party. So far as I'm aware, all of them have been pretty anti-gun. The one good thing that comes with having an anti-gun president in office is that everybody is on their toes and suspicious and, watches them more carefully. Whereas when we have, when we have Trump in office, there's a lot of argument back and forth with people with, well, no, he's not anti-gun. He's just
stocks.
Or that's not a bad move. He's just,
40 chess.
In some ways, having him there is more dangerous, but at the same time, not as dangerous. I don't know. This next election is going to be a tough one. It's going to be interesting to see how things go.
It is,
and it's definitely going to depend on the Democratic candidate.
I feel the same. So I have thrown my vote away on what is it? Libertarian candidates twice.
Yeah.
2 elections. I've thrown my vote away before I voted for Trump. And I knew what I was doing. I knew that by voting for a libertarian candidate, I was throwing my vote away. I was basically removing myself from the electoral process. I think we're at a point where I can't do that anymore. I may not love Trump's policies or every single thing that he does, but I don't think that I can throw my vote away in this next election. And maybe it's because
economic policy, I'm all there.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe it's the mainstream convincing me and making me believe something that isn't correct. And maybe I'm the idiot, but I don't see it that way. I see Kamala Harris talk about how she's going to ban the importation of AR-15s. I'm like, bitch, there's only one company importing AR-15s.
FN.
Yeah, FN. So when I see that, I think it's tough. And Aaron, I promise you, I swear to God, this is not a diss. And it might feel like one, but I promise you it's not. I say this out of respect. When I talked about Trump changing his opinion because he realized that he may have been wrong for whatever reason, whether it's the people that speaking out and doing the right thing, Aaron, you have gone to the cross to die on registration does not always equal confiscation. Even though you started off at registration equals confiscation, and you have really backed off on that message over the last little bit, because I think eventually you realize that probably registration will lead to confiscation. So I respect that. Like, you went and died on that cross a lot of times, and you have really backed off of that over the last few months. And I respect that, because I think you changed your view, and I'm trying not to use words to be insulting.
Listen, my opinion is evolving, always evolving. It's always, my opinion will change on things. I do agree.
That's what I'm saying about Trump is I can respect when someone will change their opinion when their opinion evolves, to use your terms. And I think that's great. And it's okay. Like, I hope that wasn't insulting in the least, because I wanted to show that it's like actually a point of respect that I have for you.
Thanks. Yeah, no, not hurt.
Okay, good. So yeah, I think I don't care what Trump's fucking reason for it is, but advocacy, lobbying, all these things, I think probably had a big thing on it. And I don't give a fuck about politicians. Like, that politicians need to do what their constituents want them to do. And if they don't, we elect different politicians. And I think Trump is maybe starting to realize that. I don't know. Yeah. Morpheus says, I was wondering if anyone was going to catch that whole Jew on the cross thing. Thank you. All right. Jeremy, would you like to scream at Aaron anymore?
Man, if I wanted to sit around and scream at somebody or get screamed at or listen to people scream at each other, I would have stayed in my first marriage.
Oh. Hashtag Nick is right. Andrew says, honestly, I like it when you guys do go at it a bit. We need to be passionate and stay dedicated to protecting all of our rights. And dude, like, that's why I let this go on for so long, because I think it's important. And as 2020 gets a little bit closer, we're going to have some of these times. And you know, I think it's good and it's healthy. Like, I don't want to live in an echo chamber. Like, I watch a ton of news sources that don't agree with me politically, and I don't want a friend that bows to what I believe. I want a friend who has their own mind. I don't care if I think they're right, wrong, good, or bad. I want a friend who has their opinions and will defend them with fiery language and passion.
I love passion.
Do you?
I'm Batman.
I'm not saying that I don't want to stab him right now, because I kind of do. I kind of do, and I feel a little bit bad about it, but it's a good thing you're in Michigan. JK.
It's
because of my young looking face.
Yes.
Positively POZ Derek.
All right, this is brought to you by SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. If you would like to learn more about gunsmithing, take some classes, get a degree, go ahead and check them out, sdi.edu, and you can let them know that We Like Shooting sent you. Jeremy, you haven't screamed near enough. Let's screen some reviews.
Yeah.
Do it.
It is Hot in Here by Ann G13, 5 stars. Remember those episodes where it got so hot Aaron would take his shirt off? Yeah, I remember that. It was weird. Also, the show is great. Keep it up.
Dude, it's been so hot. I've been using this canned air down here on me. It's so hot. I've been keeping my shirt on. Shirt stayed on. I've just been blowing air on me.
Well, there's a Patreon level where you have to keep your shirt on, so you're not even allowed to take it off.
Yeah, but the whole Patreon system's changing over to something completely different. I think that one's going away. So
once we launch the new Patreon, that one is going away. You're absolutely right.
And I will be naked.
God, I hope not. Because you'll
just from the waist up.
Yeah,
just from the waist up.
What about the neck up? You can be naked from the neck up.
Yeah.
No, I wear glasses. I wouldn't be able to see anything.
That's fine.
I wish I wore glasses, because then I wouldn't have to see.
What about naked from the wrists out?
Jeremy, next review.
The Future Is Now by Hyman. Hyman?
Sure.
5 stars. I listened to the episode where you talk about being Futurama characters. I think this is the best way to describe the show, so here's my opinion. Sean is Morbo, because he is the highlight of the news show.
Yeah.
Jeremy would be Lur, because he wants to eat some human horn. Aaron would be Hypnotoad, just to ask the Patreon wives. Nick would be Boxy. I think that covers everyone.
Damn.
Which one's Boxy? Which one was
And then down below it says Aaron would be Sal, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a job either, but he says Aaron twice then. So
maybe he likes me so much.
Boxy Robot is a character on all my circuits portrayed by an acting unit of the same name who communicates by beeping. He is the evil half-brother of Calculon's character. Boxy was once married by Calculon while on board a hospital ship. It was announced that Boxy and his wife had 6 months to live. Fuck, I still don't. It doesn't ring a bell.
He just walks into a room and just beeps.
Oh. So wait, who was Boxy? Oh, okay, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's wrap this thing up, Sean.
27 Club.
Why, Aaron? I'm having so much fun.
Oh, because it says wrap up and it's highlighted, so I assume that's what you want to do.
I think we should argue about the media some more.
I have let everyone down on the live chats. I'm sorry. My computer is just not cooperating anymore.
Oh, it's okay, Boxy.
I beep, boop, beep, beep.
Do you think we can ever replace Jeremy with his mom for an episode? I'd like to know if she is as angry as he is. No, she's actually a very nice lady.
Yeah, an incredibly kind woman.
Yeah. She gives the best hugs.
We should, you know what we should do? We all have siblings, right?
Yeah.
We should do a show where we switch with our siblings.
We should do a show where our siblings fight each other.
Or we should fight our siblings, because I can kick my brother's ass.
My sister's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu world champion.
I'll fight your sister.
Yeah. No, thank you, Jeremy. I don't want to have a freaking nephew with Paz Derek as the last name.
I would never let a bastard have my life.
Oh, God damn it. All right. And I guess now it's fucking time to wrap this shit up. There's a website you can go to, Savage. What is it?
LoveWLF.com.
What are the 4 things you can do there?
First thing you can do is become a Patreon. We need Patreons because YouTube ain't paying for this shit anymore.
We demonetized like 5 years ago, but
yeah. You can also become a rooftopper. There's rooftopper rewards, and you're never going to beat the lead guy, but you can still get a lot of stuff. You basically get a lot of points, and with that points, you can redeem them for different kinds of things that we have in the shop.
very nice.
I think.
Yeah, very nice. What else?
Support our sponsors, please. We have some amazing sponsors. These guys have been sticking with us through thick and thin. Second Call Defense, Manticore Arms, Northern Desert Institute, Faxon Firearms, Patriot Patch Company, Brownells, and more. These guys, they help make this show possible. So please go out and support them. And finally, just buy shit. We've got a store. Go shop there. We've got all kinds of cool stuff that Aaron and Sean and maybe even Nick have designed.
Not me.
Well, Nick, if in the case of the cat's ass, I mean, kind of.
No, I had literally nothing to do with that.
That was all Aaron.
Oh, okay. Well, then
That
all
was the
Aaron
best patch ever, and it's a collector's patch at this point, by the way.
it is.
Just saying.
I'm pretty sure I bought most of them.
I think it sold like 5 out of 50.
No, because
I kind of
So,
want
like,
one now.
Whoever has,
Are they still available?
One somewhere.
Are they still available?
We're gonna do a reprint or a rerun. I think we should make it so the cat's ass, the ass portion, actually glows in the dark.
Okay. Oh man. Oh hey, good news. Palmer 80 actually just signed on as an advertiser, so they'll be they'll be on the show coming up next week.
Wow.
Yeah, so go check them out, palmer80.com. Yeah, congratulations to them on all their huge success by signing with We Like Shooting.
Yeah, because we're going to be responsible for their success.
We love Palmer 80, and I'm really glad that they believe in us enough to support the show. Absolutely. So join a gun-related advocacy group such as Firearms Policy Coalition, Gunners of America, Second Amendment Foundation. But don't forget, this is an individual right, and us as individuals need to get involved. We can't just wait for other people to take care of our shit, right? We cannot be what Aaron has accused us of being. We need to not be stupid, and we need to get out there and fight for our rights. We need to not be sheep. We need to be the people who are making the difference. Get involved locally, whether it's with your politicians, your lawmakers, or just organizations that help fight for your rights in your state. Very, very, very important. We give out the suicide prevention line. That number is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK, or you can text the number 741-741. Let me tell you this. I read today somewhere that they're adding a new 3-number suicide hotline. So you just dial 3 numbers. I don't know what it is yet. But if 741-741 was too much, then maybe...
It's probably like 666.
That'd be awesome.
That actually would be pretty
I want
cool.
that number.
I do too. We can't both have it. I'll be 667, neighbor of the beast.
No, one of us will be 666, one of us will be 777.
Has anyone done that? Has anyone done the I'm your neighbor phone texting?
No, I haven't.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Nick, have you?
Why would I talk
Right,
to
you
someone
text the same. Just be like you're because they're neighbors. You're
No,
the
else?
neighbor.
That sounds terrible. I don't even talk to my real neighbors. I saw one
Right.
today and I was like, I should say hi. And then I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm just going to go inside.
Yeah, don't talk to the neighbors.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that.
The other day, we have our neighbors next to us are Hispanic. And I was sitting out on the porch smoking. And one of them was talking real loud to one of her kids. And I hear the kid say something about like I have a crush. And her mom's like, who? Or his mom's like, who? And he says the name. And she's like, that white girl? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, you watch out. White girls be crazy. And I had to get up and walk inside because I started laughing.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. And like 20 minutes before that,
Wait, Sean,
let threatening to throw her shoe at him.
Chunkla.
Yeah.
What?
Except no, it was a legit tennis shoe though.
wait, Sean lets you smoke on the porch?
I don't care what he does.
Sean lets you smoke on the porch?
Yeah.
Oh, you'd yell at me every time I smoked on the porch.
Yeah, because you're dirty.
You'd be like, you can't smoke on the porch. I'm like, all right, and I'd go out and smoke on the porch. But I mean, I respected you saying that. But I do what I want.
Could you be mine?
It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for beauty. Would you be mine?
You know who rocked an awesome cardigan? Mr. Rogers.
He did.
Wanted to have
Hey, guys.
just
We're here live every week on Mondays and Wednesday nights and on demand every day. Go to welikeshooting.com/show to subscribe to our show. And as we always say, thanks for listening. Get some medical training in both in your words and your marksmanship. I want you to always remember to
since we're together,
shoot straight.
we might as
Too
well.
straight.
Would you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please?
Please, won't you be?
Please, won't you be my neighbor?
My neighbor.
We'll see you next week,
Welcome
guys.
to this neighborhood, neighbor.
Welcome to this
Good
neighborhood.
night, everybody. God bless y'all.
We love y'all, and we will see you next week. You know what? We'll see you this week, Wednesday night. Love you.
I love this.
I kind of like this ending.
Naked smoking on the porch because he was smoking cigarettes. Or Nick can. I think you meant
We're-
Nick can
we
smoke on the porch
Are still live because
because he was smoking cigarettes and Aaron was smoking meth.
we're still live. I don't know why this is
I
happening.
think that was a fine thing to say live, though. That was,
Yeah, it's fine. I just want everyone else to know that we're live.
But
It's still
what-
not. Is that don't? I being able to